text, and it is from, because I won't take a religious text from a known extremist or fanatic, it's from Cardinal Newman. Recently, Prime Minister Blair's urging beatified on his way to canonization, a man whose apologia made many Anglicans reconsider their fealty and made many people join the Roman Catholic Church, and is considered, I think rightly, a great Christian thinker. My text from the Apologia. The Catholic Church, said Newman, holds it better for the sun and moon to drop from heaven, for the earth to fail, and for all the many millions on it to die in extremest agony, than that one soul, I will not say will be lost, but should commit one venial sin, should tell one willful untruth, or should steal one farthing without excuse. You'll have to say it's beautifully phrased, ladies and gentlemen. But to me, and here's my proposition, what we have here, and picked from no mean source, is a distillation of precisely what is twisted and immoral in the faith mentality. Its essential fanaticism, its consideration of the human being as raw material, and its fantasy of purity. Once you assume a creator and a plan, it makes us objects in a cruel experiment whereby we are created sick and commanded to be well. I'll repeat that. Created sick and then ordered to be well. And over us to supervise this is installed a celestial dictatorship, a kind of divine North Korea. Greedy, exigent, I would say more than exigent, greedy for uncritical praise from dawn till dusk, and swift to punish the original sins with which it so tenderly gifted us in the very first place. However, let no one say there's no cure. Salvation is offered. Redemption, indeed, is promised at the low price of the surrender of your critical faculties. Religion, it might be said, must be said, would have to admit, makes extraordinary claims, but though I would maintain that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, rather daringly provides not even ordinary evidence for its extraordinary supernatural claims. Therefore, we might begin by asking, and I'm asking my opponent as well as you when you consider your voting, is it good for the world to appeal to our credulity and not to our skepticism? Is it good for the world to worship a deity that takes sides in wars and human affairs? To appeal to our fear and to our guilt, is it good for the world? To our terror of death, is it good to appeal? To preach guilt and shame about the sexual act and the sexual relationship, is this good for the world? And asking yourself the while, are these really religious responsibilities, as I maintain they are? To terrify children with the image of hell and eternal punishment, not just of themselves, but of their parents and those they love. Perhaps worst of all, to consider women an inferior creation. Is that good for the world? And can you name me a religion that has not done that? To insist that we are created and not evolved in the face of all the evidence. To say that certain books of legend and myth, man-made and primitive, are revealed, not man-made code. Religion forces nice people to do unkind things, and also makes intelligent people say stupid things. Handed a small baby for the first time, is it your first reaction to think, beautiful, almost perfect, now please hand me the sharp stone for its genitalia that I may do the work of the Lord? No. It is, as the great physicist Steven Weinberg has very aptly put it, in the ordinary moral universe, the good will do the best they can, the worst will do the worst they can. But if you want to make good people do wicked things, you'll need religion. Now, I've got now 1 minute and 57 seconds to say why I think this is very self-evident in our material world. Let me ask Tony again, because he's here. And because the the place where he is seeking peace is the birthplace of monotheism. So you might think it was unusually filled with refulgence and love and peace. Everyone in the civilized world has roughly agreed, including the majority of Arabs and Jews and the international community, that there should be enough room for two states, for two peoples in the same land. I think we have a rough agreement on that. Why can't we get it? The UN can't get it. The US can't get it. The Quartet can't get it. The PLO can't get it. The Israeli Parliament can't get it. Why can't they get it? Because the parties of God have a veto on it, and everybody knows that this is true. Because of the divine promises made about this territory, there will never be peace, there will never be compromise. There will instead be misery, shame, and tyranny, and people will kill each other's children for ancient books and caves and relics. And who is going to say that this is good for the world? And that's just the example nearest to hand. Have you looked lately at the possibility that we used to discuss as children in fear? What will happen when messianic fanatics get hold of an apocalyptic weapon? Well, we're about to find that out as we watch the Islamic Republic of Iran and its party of God allies make a dress rehearsal for precisely this. Have you looked lately at the revival of Tsarism in Putin's Russia, where the black-cowled, black-coated leadership of Russian Orthodoxy is draped over an increasingly xenophobic, tyrannical, expansionist and aggressive regime? Have you looked lately at the teaching in Africa and the consequences of it, of a church that says AIDS may be wicked, but not as wicked as condoms? That's exactly no seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. I've done my best. Believe me, I have more.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Kwame Remesu. How y'all doing out there today? I want to talk about this whole relationship with God thing. How the fuck you gonna have a relationship with somebody that's invisible? I mean, y'all talk about this guy like y'all walk in the park with this nigga. Y'all talk about this guy like y'all go to the movies with this nigga. Like, you know, I mean, how the fuck you got a relationship with him? You gotta have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Where's that nigga at? Like, shit, how am I supposed to have a relationship with somebody that ain't here, you know? Y'all got a long distance relationship going on or something, man. I mean, nigga he ain't leave a cell phone number, he ain't leave no address, you know what I'm saying? We can, you know, not even where I can just like, if I want to send a nigga flowers or something, nigga, that nigga ain't where the address at, you know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, how am I supposed to get in touch with this guy? You know what I'm saying? Y'all always talking about y'all got a relationship with this motherfucker, but y'all can't find this motherfucker. Y'all always say God talk to you. Well, next time he talk to you, record that shit so I can believe you. You know what I'm saying? So I can have evidence that you talk to this Jesus, this God. You know what I'm saying? And how the fuck do you know that this God even want a relationship with you if it was real? Because God must be the biggest player. He must be like Hugh Hefner. He got a relationship with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And what gets me is women say that, single women say that Jesus is their only man. But how the fuck if Jesus is your only man, then why you got your vibrator? I mean, Jesus ain't coming here and knocking on the door and saying, hey, you know what, you know, baby, I know you're lonely and shit, so I just left Charlene's house. I'm gonna come fuck you real quick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if y'all got a relationship, if Jesus is y'all only man, then all y'all niggas dating the same dude. All y'all dating the same dude. Y'all all getting played. That's the power of religion. That's how religion tricks people into believing in something, that they have a relationship with somebody or something that they cannot verify. How the fuck can you verify a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Me and Kweli we got a homeboy, like almost a brother relationship. I can talk to Kweli. I text him. I ask him how he doing. He texts me, ask me how I'm doing. You ready to do the show? But y'all got a relationship with this guy that ain't never called you. He ain't never called you, sent you a letter, sent you a birthday card, you know what I'm saying? Nursed you while you're sick. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be in the hospital sick as a dog, but y'all saying Jesus is watching. Yeah, he watching your ass die, motherfucker. That's what's going on. What kind of boyfriend is Jesus? What kind of boyfriend is God? I mean, God occasionally, I guess, will fuck a virgin and shit. You know what I'm saying? Another man's wife and get them pregnant. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's according to the story. That shit never happened. But, you know, why would you want a God that commits adultery? If you don't believe your God committed adultery, I can pull up some Bible verses. Y'all know the story of Matthew 2 when God told his angel, told Gabriel to go tell, what's that chick name? Mary, yeah, to go over there. Hey, you know what? God finna come get that ass. You got to just lay back and take it. We gave Joseph some Bud Light. That nigga should be drunk on the couch watching the Broncos. You know, Broncos play the Cowboys. So in a minute he should be drunk. So as soon as Joseph pass out from that Budweiser, God gonna come in there. God gonna come on. He gonna knock on the door, looking like Denzel Washington or Morgan Freeman, whatever, and he gonna get that ass. So I would like a Christian to call in to our show and tell us, how do you know you got a relationship with this deity, with this Jesus character? How the fuck you know you got a relationship with him? I mean, people that believe in this Jesus, I don't see no hickeys on y'all necks. I don't see nothing. Y'all ain't got nothing but a damn book, a church y'all go to every Sunday. So everybody, so all of Jesus's hoes and niggas is in the same church. What's the population, Kweli? Like 7.6 billion people on the planet. And how many of that believe in this Jesus Christ? Like 6 billion, almost 6 billion. So yeah, I see why they invented Viagra.
6 billion believing in God, but like 2 or 3 billion believe in Jesus.
Okay, so God got about 6 billion hoes, and then 3 billion. Jesus got about 3 billion. Damn, that's some player shit right there. And they white people. Shit, they some Hugh Hefner motherfuckers, man. I bet Hugh Hefner like, goddamn God, how you get all these hoes? Well, Hugh Hefner said he believed in God too, so I guess Hugh Hefner was one of his hoes too, But this relationship, man, y'all have is really a dynamic relationship with yourself. You know what I'm saying? If y'all in this relationship with God, why the fuck are y'all? Okay, so if y'all in a relationship with God, what kind of relationship is it? Is it platonic? Is it casual? Is it fuck buddy? I mean, tell us. Like, we want y'all to call in, Christians, and tell us what kind of fucking relationship y'all have. Because we don't understand. Like, when you say, oh, you gotta have a personal relationship, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what kind of relationship I want with this nigga? I mean, he can't be a friend. Because like when my car broke down, if I call on Jesus, that nigga ain't gonna show up. I gotta call AAA, waiting on Jesus. So it can't be a platonic friend. I'm not gay, so that's not gonna happen with the casual shit. I mean, I don't know what kind of relationship I'm supposed to have with this nigga. I mean, is it like one of those relationships where I'm just not supposed to do everything that he made for me to do or whatever? Like, for one, have sex. You can't have sex. But I made the whole concept of sex because I know it feels good, but you can't have it. You can't drink, but I put it in people's mind to make alcohol, according to God. According to some people that say that this God gave them the knowledge of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound like a devil worshiper, but man, it seems like more bad shit is happening in the world, shoot, and y'all blame it on the devil. So I'm like, well, shit, why is the devil is showing himself through bad things, which y'all say that it's the devil, and God ain't really showing himself or herself or whatever? Y'all blame every bad thing because the world is mostly bad. Like, it's a fucked up thing. Like, even I lock my doors, I got my pistol to my side, bro. Anybody can still try to break in and hurt me and my old lady, man. Is that the devil or is that God's plan? Because if that's God's plan, then I don't want to be that nigga friend anyway. If he causing shit like that to happen to people, robberies, rapes, all that other shit, I'm sure people that done got hurt and robbed and shit have a relationship with God. But you got to ask yourself, where was this nigga at when this woman was getting raped or robbed or mugged or whatever? Where were these people at getting shot in Walmart and these churches and shit? All these people talking about they got a personal relationship with this fucking God, and people dying in these churches, man. That's supposed to be one of his houses. And you know what's funny? God got a lot of houses. He ain't paid for one of them. He ain't paid for not one of them. And then preachers got to ask, I need some money to pay the building fund, to pay the light bills and shit. If that's God's house, why you paying God's bills? He supposed to be all fucking powerful. Why the fuck you paying his bills? Huh? If that's supposed to be his house of worship, but they get a 501c3. So Christians or believers, period, what kind of relationship Help me and Kweli understand what kind of relationship do you have, because it's not a good one. It can't be a good one. The nigga ain't there when AAA, when you run out of gas, when you lose your job, when you're homeless on the street. The nigga ain't reached down and helped you do shit. You either gotta call AAA, go to a homeless shelter, or you stuck between jobs and you about to get evicted from your apartment. God ain't helped you out with shit. What kind of relationship is that?
When I when I hear people say they got a relationship with God, what I'm hearing is they really delusional. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying I got an imaginary friend. Now I used to be there. I know you did too. So while we talking all this stuff, we coming from love. Like we understand where y'all at mentally, and I used to be there when I used to like say stuff like I have a relationship with God. But what I used to mean was basically I make up my own God. And I got a personal relationship with God. So if somebody come and say, do you know God? Do you know Jesus? And I say, well, I got a personal relationship with God. So all that shit you talking about, that's null and void, because me and the God that I made up, we don't phrase it like that in our head. We say me and the God that I believe in, my God wouldn't do that, or my God is about this, or my God would do. Well, how the hell would you know? Like if y'all was watching the debate earlier with Phil Jackson, and like how the hell you know what God got to say? Like God, he's talking about God want this and God wants you to do that. How the hell would you know what God want? Well, it said right here in this book. Then I got to ask you how you know he said it in the book. Like I could have wrote a book and said that God said it. You gonna believe me just because it said that in a book? So why are you believing this? And what about all these other books? So basically, these people are just delusional, man. But I got a video from a preacher, bro, talking about this topic. So we ain't gonna play the whole thing though. But I just want to get like the first 5 minutes or so, because he touched on this topic, and what I'm saying, we can break it down as as we go along.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm still in my workout clothes, bro.
Shit, it's all good.
Yeah.
But this is Pastor Tony Evans, everybody.
Listening to Dallas Theological Seminary's Chapel Podcast.
Oh, they right here in Dallas.
Oh yeah, he went to Dallas seminary school.
Right up the motherfucking street. Let's go. Let's go and put it on. Let's go.
When I was listening to it, I was thinking about you. I was like, damn, he right in your backyard.
Honored to be back with you once again and to have this great opportunity to minister at my alma mater and the place that I deeply, deeply, deeply love, and to see what God has done in my life and in the lives of those who've come through here, and to be in the place where I have been ministered to spiritually day after day as a student, and now being able to be here to minister to you is indeed quite the honor and quite the privilege. My oldest granddaughter is named Karis Grace, and she's a third-year student now at Baylor University. When she was a little girl, there was this cry from the yard outside of my house. She was screaming, and I rushed out to find out what in the world is going on, and a dog was chasing her. The dog was barking and nipping and making all kinds of noises, and she was terrified. The dog wasn't that big, but as far as she was concerned, it was too big, and she was running in terror. She kept saying, she calls me Poppy, Poppy, Pop, the dog, the dog, and she jumped up into my arms, wailing and heaving with fear and frustration and being terrorized by the circumstance she found herself in. She hung on to me as the dog came up near my foot, continuing to make these threatening noises, just terrorizing. And she hung on to me, and as she began to get her composure, she looked down at the dog and then looked up at me. She looked down at the dog and then looked up at me. She looked down at the dog again, then she looked up at me. Then the next time she looked at the dog, she said, nah, 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 nah. Everything had changed, but not her circumstance. See, the dog was still there. The dog was still spouting his authority. He was still making his noise. Something had changed in her. And what had changed in her was my presence. The fact that I was now part of the equation gave her a confidence she did not have, a sense of victory she did not possess, and even a willingness to face her enemy with authority. I have said to you that I wanted to spend our days on spiritual life, coming at it from the perspective of spiritual authority. Because what I am discovering in life and in ministry, far too many Christians love Jesus but have no authority.
All right, now it's time to do it, man, because I really hate when preachers do this shit. So at this point, we dealing with either a dishonest pastor or a very unintelligent pastor. And I hope that y'all can see through this man's bullshit. So basically what he's saying in his analogy about his granddaughter is that when she saw the dog, she was scared, she was terrified, but then she came to him, her grandfather, and then she all of a sudden gained this confidence. So in his analogy, you are supposed to be his granddaughter, and the evil in the world is supposed to be the dog, and God is supposed to be the grandfather. The only problem is in the story, he's there, people. She can clearly see him. She can talk to him. She can touch him. She really has a relationship with her grandfather. You don't got no fucking relationship with this God character. He ain't there. So when you look up to this God character, when you're going through the bullshit and you say, oh, I got some confidence because I see this. What do you see? Look up, everybody, right now. We're going to do an experiment. Look up. Everybody, look up. If you see God, first of all, you need to click this link and join in and turn your camera on so we can see him too. You probably delusional, my nigga. If you don't see God, if you see the roof or the sky, then what the fuck are you believing in to give him the thought that he can make this analogy and that it will work on you? But see, this is what preachers do. They'll spend a whole hour, and I watched this video. You know what I'm saying? I watched this whole video. It's an hour long of just him doing this, just little stories that sound good, right?
Yep.
But it don't mean shit. Deepities is what they call them. To the extent that they're true, they are trivial. That like love is more than just a 4-letter word. Oh, it sounds real good. Love is more than just a 4-letter word. But guess what? Fart is more than just a 4-letter word. It's true for fart. So it don't really mean what it sounds like it mean. It sounds like it means something, but it really don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's all his whole analogy don't mean nothing because he's there in his analogy, but God ain't here in real life. You can't see God the same way you can see your grandfather. So the little girl, she better get some confidence when she see her grandfather is there to protect her. But if her grandfather wasn't there, she just started talking shit to that dog, she'd be an eating ass little girl. Eating, did I say that wrong? Eating ass little girl. She'd have got her ass eaten.
Yeah. Because it's like they try to compare themselves to God because they see themselves. It's like, okay, so he's using himself as an analogy of God. And the way you broke it down, he sees himself as the analogous of God and the child as analogous of the person that's seeking God or believing in God. The granddaughter does not no longer have to believe that her grandfather exists because she has objective and empirical evidence that her grandfather exists.
He's right there.
Right motherfucking there. But with me and Kweli, man, you know what? I had to you know, and I don't mean bring my business up, but I had to borrow money from Kweli one time. I couldn't rely on Jesus, but when Kweli sent me the money, I needed to borrow money. Shit, if I was a believer, shit, I ain't saying Kweli wouldn't be my friend, but I'm better off getting money out of Kweli, you know what I'm saying, for help than to say, Jesus, please let something fall in my lap. Let me go scratch a lottery ticket real quick and get that $1,000 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that was a dishonest, bad analogy, because you're basically saying you're trying to put God in a realistic perspective when it's you really that's acting as the God, because you being a preacher or somebody of authority, because he spoke a lot about authority. He said authority like 50 times. So he speaks a lot about authority. So is he putting himself as an authoritative figure and his congregation less than that? I mean, I don't know.
They all do. All these preachers do. But you know what? It's not even just the preachers. It's the congregation do it too. Like, people look at preachers as if they above regular folk. You know what I'm saying? Like even a Lil Baby got a song. I seen a preacher get caught cheating, as if that's supposed to be. Oh, nigga, I would expect a preacher to cheat before a man that's not a preacher, because the preacher lying every goddamn week.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But from their perspective, from a Lil Baby's perspective, a believer's perspective, a preacher is above doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he ain't supposed to do that. You know what I mean? But they put them on these pedestals. But then we all find out that these motherfuckers is not only are they not living up to the pedestal that y'all put them on, and they just regular people, but they a little bit worse. Like, you got, you know, the Eddie Longs and the Creflo Dollars and all these people that not only are they not good people, but they actually are pretty bad people. You know what I'm saying? And then you find that out, and you know what I'm saying? It's like
that's not only that. It's right. It's like, well, God didn't really call them to the pulpit, and when they do something bad, you know what I'm saying? So God didn't really call them, but you listen to their ass until they did something fucked up, and it's all of a sudden God didn't call them to the pulpit. God really, it was the devil. Like, for real, y'all gonna follow somebody that y'all think God called to the pulpit, but then when soon they do something fucked up, oh, it wasn't God really didn't call them. My mama said the same thing about Eddie Long. My mama said the same thing about Creflo Dollar. I'm like, but mama, you was watching his damn Bible. You had me watching the shit, scaring me, thinking I'm gonna die if I stop believing. And I'm 37 years old. Just had a 37th birthday.
So that's a scam, dog. So I'm gonna start clipping out like little movies, like the parts that I be mentioning, like, oh, they put this in this movie. They put it. I'm gonna start clipping them shits out so y'all can see. But it's this TV show, bro, and I don't even watch TV. Like, so if I'm mentioning the TV show, by the way, anybody's listening to this, if I mention a movie or a TV show, you might want to check it out, because I don't like shit. So if I like it, that means it's really, really good, and you'll probably love it. But anyway, it's a TV show on Netflix called Manifest. It's not that good, but
my old lady watched Manifest. I'm gonna have to keep it.
It's not that good, but I mean, I'm a guy that, like, I get real into the production of the shit. So when I say it's not that good, I mean it's not produced well, but it's a good story. But you know what I'm saying? It's a part in it, like, with these people, they supposed to be psychic or whatever, but they know that they not really psychic, but everybody else don't know that. So one of them guys, he builds his church, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a big scam. And he said one line in there, dude was saying, like, he was like, man, you can't really believe this stuff. Like, you know, we ain't really psychic, you know what I mean? And then he's like, well, I don't gotta believe it. They believe it, and that's good enough. And you know, he goes count his money. But it's a overall metaphor of, like, he just started this church based off of this TV show. But that's how all churches work. Like, they trying to tell you something. I don't know who wrote this movie, but whoever wrote it, I don't know if they are atheists in it, but they at least a skeptic, because it's a character in there that's a skeptic, and it's a big part of the show. You know what I'm saying? So if your girl watch it, man, check it out with her one time. But it's kind of about this topic a little bit, you know what I mean? Because it's like a religious debate thing going on, but they kind of dressed it up, so it ain't really about religion. It's more about psychic power and shit. But it's more so like they have a relationship with themselves, but they don't know what it is, so they give credit to this other thing. And guess what they call it? They call it the callings. That's why I thought about it when you was like, oh, you ain't called to the preacher, but that's all they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he wasn't.
Kweli, I want to thank you, man, for You know, 'cause my old lady said that she really liked our show and she really liked what you're doing. Just by her talking to you, she said she stepped away from Christianity, but she's still stuck in that spiritual shit. So I said, baby, call into the show tonight. And because look, I know I've probably been an atheist. No, you've been an atheist longer than me. 'Cause I didn't become an atheist. So I was like 28 and I'm 37 now. You've been an atheist since you was like 18, since you was a teenager. So you had more.
I've been out of Christianity since I was a teenager, but I wasn't an atheist till I was 27.
Okay. All right then.
I was still believing in God, but I just didn't have no religion attached to it. You know what I'm saying?
You what you 20, you 29?
I'm 31 now.
Oh, y'all the same. You and my wife, y'all the same age. I'm 37. So yeah, we kind of both right there at the mark. You know what I'm saying? But she was like impressed because she said she never knew of a black person that didn't believe in God until she met you and me. And when she met you, and then the way you broke it down, because it's like, because you know when you try to like keep your love separated from religion, it's hard to break it down. But I'm glad that you basically pushed a little pressure, because I was trying not to pressure her, because honestly, man, I ain't want her to leave me. Because you know I had that issue before. We had that issue on prior shows where a girl was trying to date me, and you know shit went left. So. Yeah. But when she said that she learned a lot from you, she said that she stepped away. She's not a Christian no more. She don't believe in Jesus Christ, but she said she's spiritual. Like she just believes that there's a spiritual entity out there. I said, well, do you know that? And she said, no, I don't know that, but she said that's what she feels. I said, okay, well, your feelings is not evidence.
Yeah, but that's what that's the process though. Like, you know what I'm saying? This whole waking up process, especially if you a believer like she was. Like you actively call yourself a Christian, it's gonna take years before you wake up out of that shit. Because you know what I mean. I know at least for me, it took from when I was 18 to when I was 27. Like those whole 9 years to go from okay, the Bible is bullshit, and then 9 years later, I'm like, okay, what if God is bullshit? That's how long it took. You know what I'm saying? 9 years before.
And she watched Manifest, and like I said, she watched Manifest, and I think that's what's kind of because she always had questions. She asked me, she said, "Baby," she said, "Well, if God put the tree of knowledge there, because we were talking about the tree of knowledge, that's where she stuck at right there on the tree of knowledge." She's like, "Well, if God didn't want it to be touched, then why God put it there? Because God is supposed to be all knowing, so He knew that they were gonna be set up to fuck up. They're gonna be set up to be fucked up." Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You know, so how can you have a personal relationship with a guy like that's going to set you up? And then so he'll put you. So if you have a personal relationship with God and He sets you up to be in a bad position, in order for you to come out that position, in order to basically give Him credit, what kind of God does that? I'm gonna fuck your life up for a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little fuck up, and then I'm gonna basically bring you out so you can say, "Well, God brought me out." If this is real, is God looking for popularity? Is He looking for status or what? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like a lot of people give God a lot of status. It
makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? It can't be true to me. But even if I was to concede, like for the sake of argument, if somebody say, well, I know that the Bible is true and God is real. Well, in that case, what you're saying is, your God is an evil, murdering, sick-ass monster who
rapist
set people up and wants you to eat flesh and drink blood and rape people. Yeah, like it's crazy. That's what you're saying if you really believe in that bullshit. So that's the God that you have a relationship with. That's why we say, do you have a relationship with this God? We talking about this God that you believe in, because this motherfucker's ruthless motherfucker. Even if you just want to say, well, I believe off of faith or whatever, but you attach it to this Bible God, you fucking up already. You know what I mean? I had got to a point, not to cut you off, I'm gonna let you come back in, but I got to a point where when I was in my little spiritual journey too, like where your wife is now. I call it my spiritual journey, where I was out of religion, but I wasn't an atheist. I was like just exploring stuff. I got into a whole bunch of different practices and stuff, just trying to see what's real. You know what I'm saying? But I got to a point where I realized, okay, it's two possibilities. Either there is no God, or God literally is everything. Like this microphone, this blunt that I'm smoking, this computer that I'm using, all of that plus like add together.
This drink that I'm drinking.
Yeah, everything. If you add everything together, that's God. That's God. So I was like, okay, I done figured it out. God is everything, right?
Oh,
God is
they
everything.
call it spirits. See that shit? They call it spirits. So,
Exactly, bro. They call it spirits.
shit.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, hey, that's the two possibilities. But for the longest, I was leaning to the God is everything side. You know what I'm saying? Until I started researching skepticism and atheism. And then like hearing the different points of view, like listening to people like Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins, and I was like, okay, well maybe God, like why would I think God is everything when that's almost a roundabout way of saying there is no God, because if God is everything, but everything is not thinking and intelligent and like, okay, I'm gonna do this and make this happen, then that's not God. You know what I'm saying? That's just the universe, and that's like where we started.
Functioning. It's a natural functioning. Natural functions.
Yeah, and that's what we observe. Like when we look, that's why I say everybody look up. Like when you look up, what you see, the sky or the ceiling, you don't see no fucking God.
Kweli, who woke you up this morning? Who woke you up?
My cell phone.
Exactly. Exactly. They be like, well, who you think woke you up? My alarm clock, my cell phone.
Oh, they hate when I say that shit. They be like, who woke you up? I be like, my alarm clock. No, God woke you up. So the people that didn't wake up, God killed them. Oh well, no. Well, hold on now. You saying God woke everybody up, but he didn't kill the people who didn't wake up? Oh no, that's
my
the
old lady always wakes. She wake me up before my alarm clock. She always kisses me on the face, but then gonna ask me who woke me up. Man, you did. Like I'm still asleep. You waking me up with kisses and shit. Stop kissing me when I'm asleep. Like fuck. If God waking people up, I don't want to be woken by that nigga. I promise you. For real. You wake me up with kisses and shit. Stop that. Okay. I like it, but please stop. Stop. I want to get at least before I drop you off at work, please. But everything we do in human society, everything that we go through in human society, bad days at work, all this other shit. When you get off work, and you know, I do armed security. I work for Brinks. Not Brinks. I don't work for Brinks anymore, but I work for an armored car truck. Who's to say? And now let me tell you something. I work with two believers, right? We deliver $7 million a day at my job. I'm not gonna give a name out because I know they be watching YouTube, but they always praying. They ask me to pray with them. Can you pray with us on the bus? I said, no, I'm gonna sit over here in the corner, man. I'm good. Oh, you don't believe in God? I said, no. I said, depending on what you calling God. It's okay, well, we're gonna pray. So they pray every fucking day we on this fucking armored truck. Bro, what if we get robbed? What if one day I'll be like, hey, Kweli, man, I hope I make it out of this. I'm gonna text you first, because you my dude. You my bro. You my little brother. I'm gonna say, Kweli, can you call God for me? I'm like, Kweli, get God on the phone right now. You like, I already know what you're gonna say now. I ain't got the nigga phone number. But no, it's not. But the realization is these two believers, I hate working with these dudes. Because it's three people on the back of one truck, and then you got the driver. You seen the armored truck, right?
Yeah, but I ain't never been in one before.
Yeah, so we got $7 million on our truck. So, bro, if me, I was like, hey, shoot me in the leg and take the money, and we'll meet at the other location, type shit. Because I know God ain't gonna stop that shit. And I'm just saying, why are these dudes praying? These dudes be cuddled up. They got a gun on them. I got a gun on me. I'm sitting there looking at these dudes praying on their fucking knees next to $7 million.
I mean, yeah. I always thought this, but like, I know that's y'all job or whatever. But
yeah.
A nigga can't pay me enough to get shot over nobody else's money. So it's like
they pay 18 an hour. So I make 18 an hour.
But I'm saying like
if they has a duty.
No, I ain't saying not to do it. I'm saying if the shit go down and somebody come and try to rob y'all, how hard are you gonna try to protect that money? Because a nigga like me, I'm just gonna be like, y'all got it. Because it ain't my money.
It ain't my money. Like these are the type of dudes that watch John Wick. They watch John Wick. They watch all these Equalizer. Oh, I'm gonna do this move. They say for instance, we're in Fort Worth. We will say for instance, we pick up a load in Fort Worth, and we got to deliver this shit to Dallas. We gotta go to Dallas, which is 20 miles away. They up here watching. Oh yeah, John Wick. Oh yeah, you see all that moves that he moved. I'm gonna use this if we ever get robbed. But y'all
This ain't
niggas
real.
praying. Y'all praying. You watching John Wick and you're praying. I'm sitting here just like I'm in the corner. Look, bro. When we on our way to Dallas with some money, bro, guess what I'm doing? I'm sleeping in the corner. Because, bro, we got stacks and stacks of money around us. So while they watching John Wick, I'm asleep. And I know when they start praying, they pray. But like when we get to Grand Prairie, that's when they start praying. When we get to Grand Prairie, before the drop off. I'm like, y'all just watching John Wick. Y'all telling each other what y'all gonna do if somebody try to rob us, but you gonna pray because you watch John Wick. Another delusion. John Wick is not real. Can't nobody produce those type of skills. That's a movie. That lets you know when these two believers I work with, because I chose that shift, but because I want to be at home with my old lady at night because I can protect her. God ain't gonna protect her. And I told my guy, I said, baby, whatever you believe in the universe ain't gonna protect you. I'm gonna be the one to protect you because I have the firearm. So, but yeah. Anyways, but you niggas ride with me every morning, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, and y'all praying, but y'all want to be like John Wick. How does that work out? How you a believer in God, but look at John Wick videos, and then you scared when we get to Grand Prairie, which is only like 5 miles from Dallas, and you scared. Kweli, how the fuck does that work? How you scared and praying to God at the same time?
It's cognitive dissonance.
Oh man, this is like. So they know I'm an atheist, and I just hope they don't go to boss with this. Oh well, Officer Johnson, he don't believe in our God. He don't believe in Jesus. He don't, man. Because I love my job. I like the money I make. I got insurance and everything. Because I'm gonna go to a doctor if I'm sick. I'm not gonna go to God if I'm sick, because that motherfucker ain't gonna answer my prayers if I was to believe in this shit. If I'm sick, got a call for whatever, I'm gonna take some Tylenol PM, or I'm gonna take something. I might drink some liquor to help. But the thing is, the cognitive dissonance that we have with these people that has a belief in a God, that think that they have a relationship with a God. And see, this is an individual thing. They think that this God apparently is only for them. That's why I told this one chick, I said, look, you have a selfish mentality because you think that this God is for you only. A lot of people that believe in God, they have this cognitive dissonance that the God is going to protect them. You forgot that there's 7.5 billion people on this planet. You know what I'm saying? And then you got, what you say, 6 billion that believe in a God, and you got 3 billion that believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
So where do you put your application in?
Roughly. I'm guesstimating.
Yeah, it's a rough estimate. I get you. But where did you put your application in and say, hey, God, I'm submitting this application. Can you look after me for a minute? And a lot of these motherfuckers are on housing. You know what? This is the thing in the black community. And I'm speaking to black people right now. Y'all, the black community with black women, y'all have the most fucked up lifestyle. Y'all will spend money on yourselves before you spend money on your kids, but then ask God for help.
Can't stand this
Y'all will go and fuck niggas in the club. Go get niggas in the club, fuck them, and then go on Sunday morning and say, God, forgive me for sucking that dick. And Kweli, I don't mean to bring up no sexual jokes or anything. I know what you told me in the text message, but man, this got to be said. Serious. Black women, y'all are the most religious women on the planet. How do you know you got a relationship with this deity when y'all do the most fucked up shit? Y'all put niggas on child support. Y'all go to daddy government for help. Y'all don't go to daddy God. Y'all go to daddy government and put black men on child support. With me being a studying paralegal that I am, I can help brothers out. But that's what y'all go to. Y'all don't go to God and say, hey, God, make that nigga take care of my child or children that I have. Stop playing with yourself. Y'all playing with yourself because y'all have this delusional mind state because y'all want the accountability. Y'all want the response. Y'all want the inaccountability. Y'all want the protection. but y'all don't want the responsibility or accountability for the shit that y'all do. I'm talking to black women from this perspective, because I don't know if you've seen our comments, but we have a lot of women that's been talking shit to me because I don't believe in a God. But I bet y'all are the same ones that's on Section 8. God didn't put you on Section 8. The government put you on Section 8. Stop saying that y'all are independent, because y'all still dependent on a Jesus. Y'all are dependent on a God to help you when the motherfucker that's helping you is the one that's hurting you. Christians that are not on Section 8 and housing and all this other shit, preachers, nobody's helping you. People that believe in this preacher shit, nobody's helping you. It's you that's protecting yourself. Because guess what? You get up early in the morning. Your alarm clock wakes you the fuck up. God ain't saying, hey, baby, wake up, baby. You know, you got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? If God said that shit, why would you want to worship a God that tells you that you got to go to work to support yourself when this God can easily support you? God's supposed to be the supreme being of everything. You got a relationship with this motherfucking God, but yet you still going to work. Yet you're still putting gas in your own motherfucking car. Yet you're still paying your own motherfucking rent. But you have a relationship with this motherfucker? He's worse than a trial. He's worse. This God you believe in is worse than a Tyrone and Chad. This nigga God might as well just be sleeping on your couch, not doing shit. Laying on your couch, eating up all your food, your pizzas and shit that you got from the Dollar Tree, wiping his ass with flushable wipes that you gotta go buy. Cause God ain't doing nothing for you. It's you that's doing for you. But you want to give this credit to somebody you think you have a relationship with. Stop doing it to yourself. Because the reason why you won't tell me and Kweli that you have a relationship, the reason why you would say that you have a relationship with him is because of fear. Name one thing. If you Christians can call in right now, name one thing that this God and Jesus done for you that you have a relationship with, that you can verify without evidence and without you doing or without other human beings doing it for you. Show us that God and Jesus did this for you. You know what, Kweli? We would never get a call. We would never get a phone call because they know the shit is bullshit. But the thing is, it's fear. It's fear that's basically hindering them from calling to this show and saying, you know what? Kweli and Kwame might be right. Y'all know the fuck we right. Y'all know we right. Kweli pays his bills. I pay my bills. If Kweli need help from me, guess what? If I got it, I'm gonna help him. Kweli ain't praying to no imaginary Jesus or God for like $5, $10. I ain't praying to no imaginary God for $5 or $10. I'm gonna call this man. He gonna call me if he need me. When y'all ask for sugar for your Kool-Aid, where you go? You go to your next door neighbor. Hey, I need some sugar to make some Kool-Aid. Why you didn't go to God for sugar? But y'all believe in this God. But y'all want to go to your next door neighbor for sugar and some bread, a loaf of bread to make some hot dogs and shit. Y'all don't think about this shit, do you? But y'all say y'all got a relationship. You say you got a relationship with this God. Show me one thing that God produced for you that humans didn't do. You got a relationship. If I got a relationship with somebody, they gonna do something for me. Give me head or something. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, hey, hope this guy is a woman, bro. Cause if I got a relationship with this guy, I gotta have some head or something. Give me some head, so I don't need no woman in my life. You feel me?
Apparently, God is one of these new age, non-binary, bisexual motherfuckers. Cause he ain't got no bitch.
Nope. You know what? You just spoke on some shit. Like, why did God have 2 sons but no wife? Okay, God, where did you get these 2 sons from? Who did you fuck?
Well, that's the that's the European God version that they made up. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different concepts of God, and that's just one version that came from a culture that was heavily male chauvinistic. The same culture that told women they couldn't vote, told women they couldn't vote and told women they couldn't work. These are the ancestors of their predecessors who didn't like women and didn't want women to have rights and all that stuff. So that's why you see all this stuff in the Bible, and there's no mention of women in all these begats. They don't even mention the women. They make Eve the evil motherfucker who did the sin, even though the instruction was given to Adam, not to Eve. And and it said that in the Bible the shit was good for food and it was good, it looked good and all that shit, and God put it right there and he saw it was good, but then she ate it and it was bad. And the devil, I mean the serpent, first of all, they never said the serpent was the devil. Serpent never told her to eat the apple. Serpent just said you ain't gonna die if you do eat it. So then she went and ate it on her own damn own. But either way, I digress, man. It just come from a culture where they didn't value women like that, so they stole these ideas of the trilogy from ancient Egyptian religions. But in the ancient Egyptian religion, there was a woman. It was a mother, a father, and a child. That was the Holy Trinity.
The goddess Shashat. Yeah, Shashat. Yeah, Shashat.
When they plagiarize it and they want to remix it and make it their version, their European version, they have to remove the woman because they don't value the woman the way the Africans value the woman, and they replace the woman with this so-called Holy Ghost, this spirit or whatever, which is just another imaginary motherfucker that don't exist. So that's why God don't got no bitch in the European religions and all that shit. But if you go search around, there are definitely religions where God has a goddess, and you know what I mean. Actually, if you go back even further, the original God was a goddess. You know what I'm saying? Anani, I think that's her name. The Sumerian goddess, like it was a female. So somehow God went from female to male in the span of 3,000 years. That's why I said God is one of these new age motherfucking sex change people that just decide, you know what? I don't want to be a man no more. I don't want to be a woman no more. I'm just gonna cut it off, you know. And God got surgery.
I'm gonna add to it. I'm gonna add me a penis. Hey, that's a good one. That's a good one.
But yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. But these people are literally delusional, man. Talking about they got a relationship with this imaginary motherfucker. But we pick on Christians a lot because Christians are the ones that we encounter and they tell us the most bullshit. So when we come on live and we talking about this, we responding to what we've been getting all week, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, motherfuckers been coming telling us all this dumb shit in the comment section on messages and out in the real world, and now we just got to come on here and let y'all all know all at the same time why you make no sense just because you motherfuckers are seem to be in the minority. I mean, in the majority. It's only because you all were indoctrinated around the same time. If you go to India, you won't be in the majority no more, and you're gonna see how crazy your belief is because you're gonna be the only one believing that shit.
That's a fact. That is a known fact because when you look at Christianity as it is today, it's patriarchal, however you say it. So, and it's like how you women that exude masculine behavior is okay with a God saying that you are the fuck up. How are you okay with God saying that women are the fuck up, but yes, you still want this Jesus to be your Lord and Savior? But God and Jesus said, y'all fuck ups. Y'all fuck ups. Women, y'all are fuck ups according to your book. How the hell y'all gonna say, oh, that's my man? And so if I go tell my old lady, oh baby, you a fuck up, I don't want to be with you no more. How's she gonna look at me? What you mean? I said, well, no, you believe this shit, you a fuck up. Get out of my house. Type shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like people don't really believe it. Kweli, you said this shit. People don't really believe this shit. They just believe it because of fear. because these women and these dudes, we're gonna put women and dudes in the same category. They'll go party on the weekend, drink and get drunk, go fuck some or whatever, and then come back on Sunday and be like, Lord, forgive me for having that pussy, forgive me for eating that pussy, forgive me for sucking that dick and all that other shit. Then they're right back at the same shit next weekend. See, that's why I said religion teach no accountability. Religion don't teach that shit. It don't teach accountability. Like, you should be accountable for your own actions. You shouldn't be apologizing to a deity for for a dick you sucked.
Like, Christianity is the most sucker religion on the planet, because Christianity say you can do whatever you want to do as long as you ask for forgiveness before you die.
Oh boy, that's
not discipline at all.
That's not discipline. It's sucker shit. And like with rapists and murderers and shit. Murderers, when they get executed, I accept Lord Jesus Christ as my personal. There is actually a video where a murderer accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and personal Savior. Oh, you waited that long to accept this Jesus and your God. I'm just saying, who you waited. You didn't accept that nigga before you said that nigga right when you died. I'm like, that's crazy. So, you know what, Kweli, I feel like you and I, man, our podcast or our show is the most powerful atheist show on the planet. That's why motherfuckers want to call into it, because we ruthless. We ruthless over here. You know what I'm saying? We ruthless. Atheist church is ruthless. That's why motherfuckers scared to call in. I'm surprised the pastor called in.
Yeah, you got a couple of what you call it, religiotards in the chat, but they scared to click that link though.
Oh, come on, religiotards. One time. You know what, religiotards, if you call in, we'll let you have the flow. Tell us all about it.
So I know you're a slow body, because we got the link posted and this dumb motherfucker asked why I'm not reacting to the chat. Because we asking y'all to join in. You dumb motherfucker. Why I'm sitting here and talk to a chat? When you got a link right there, you can join in and we can have a conversation. It's technology. We don't got to text and we can talk. But you don't really want to talk because you know you're gonna sound stupid as fuck. You just want to sit there in the chat and troll. Because you can't even, instead of defending this idiotic concept that you believe in called a God, and you can't defend what we're saying and argue with the points and contradict our facts. So you just gotta sit there and say, "Oh, these people stupid," or y'all lost. You know what I'm saying? Dumb shit like that. So call in.
Yeah, call in, because we want to know why we lost. Can you tell us why we're lost? I want to know why I'm lost. I want to know why me and Kweli is lost, because
no, we ain't lost. That's Ultimate Truth. That's the same dude that thought he could
call in Ultimate Truth. Hey, Ultimate Truth, call in, bro. I promise you we'll let you Ultimate Truth, if you call in, I promise you we'll let you have the flow.
Call in. Prove the Quran with some numbers. Like that, like he was gonna call on the show, right? This was his idea. He was gonna call on the show. He was gonna tell the two atheists that the Quran is true, and he was gonna prove that by showing us all these mathematical numbers and stuff, and we was gonna go, "You're right, wow. Those numbers really mean that there's an imaginary man in outer space who gives a fuck about what position I'm sleeping in with my woman in."
Exactly. If God is watching you fuck your woman, Ultimate Truth, then you need to question your God. Like, nigga, I can't have no privacy, for real. So I can't have no privacy because me grabbing the back of my woman's head and pushing her, trying to make her gag on my dick and shit. Come on, Ultimate Truth.
God want to see everything at all times. He like Santa Claus. And then, like, I don't understand how motherfuckers don't equate the two. Like, when I was in middle school, I was still a believer, and I couldn't stand the concept of Santa Claus because I felt like it was taking Christmas away from Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. So that was I had a problem with Santa Claus, but then I became an atheist, and I still got a problem with Santa Claus because I'm like, it's the same con this God thing. You got to behave because this imaginary motherfucker's watching you, and if you be good, you get a reward. But if you don't be good, you get punished or you don't get the reward. It's the same thing that religion is doing. But so for some reason, people look at Santa Claus and go, "Oh, that's imaginary. How dare you assume that I believe that bullshit?" But then I tell them I don't believe in God, and they act like I'm tripping. Like, what the fuck? You believe in Santa Claus' best friend named God? They equal. They identical.
Yeah, that's man, bro. That's the same thing. This same thing I was arguing like a couple of weeks ago. Like, if Santa Claus is equivalent to Jesus Christ, you know, Santa Claus has an enemy, Krampus. What does Krampus do? Krampus is just mad because Santa Claus stole his shit. So Krampus want his shit back. Krampus ain't worried about Santa Claus passing out. Because you read the story of Krampus. Krampus just want his shit back from Santa Claus.
So he really ain't even evil.
He not even evil. He like, nigga, just get my shit back. Like, bro, if I come like Kweli, if I come to you like, hey Kweli, I want my Xbox back. You like, oh no, I need it for a couple of more minutes. No, Kweli, get my shit back, bro. You don't get my shit back. Now we're gonna be evil enemies, and now you gotta fight against me because I'm gonna stop you from spreading toys and shit like that because I'm afraid you're gonna get my Xbox away. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Krampus ain't worried about fucking Santa Claus or what the nigga do. He just want his shit back. Like, you got Krampus as a devil, is a devil Santa Claus that ain't done shit. And bro, if you watch is it American Dad? Krampus explains like, look, I just want my shit back. Give my rain. Look, Santa Claus stole Krampus's reindeer. I'm just saying, like, that's what he want.
Peep this now. When I was 13, I was positive that somebody made up Santa Claus to steal Christmas away from Jesus because, like, it's all you gotta do is move one letter from the middle of Santa to the end, and it becomes Satan. So I was like, how y'all don't see this shit? But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, even if you are a believer, I don't understand how y'all like teach your kids about Santa Claus and trick your kids, and then like you condition.
You remove the C. You remove the C. You remove the C.
The N in Santa. If you take the N in Santa and put it and
move it to the
end of the word.
Oh, it's Satan.
Yeah.
It's Satan. What? Like, God.
Exactly.
I thought it was the C, not the N. Like, oh, wait a minute. Bro. What?
Exactly.
Is God Satan? Is Satan cause? Yeah. It's like I Krampus. Krampus like, nigga, hey, fuck you, Satan. Nigga, get my reindeer back, nigga. I bred them, nigga. I birthed them, whatever. But the thing is, man, I just don't understand, like, but I do, and look, I do understand because it's dealing with fear, because they want to know what will happen after they die. But nigga, before you live, what was you doing? Nothing. It was darkness. You didn't have knowledge of nothing. You have knowledge of breathing. You didn't exist. So
and you don't exist after you did, but that's the hard part that people can't wrap their head around, is the fact that one day they won't exist. You know what I'm saying? And they just know, just like I used to know that there was a God. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was wrong, but I used to. If you would have asked me, I would say, yeah, I know there's a God. That's because I wasn't using, logic and reason and all that stuff. I was using other things that lead you to believe false things. But they would say they know there's an afterlife. They know they gonna always exist, because they always say some shit like, well, you can't destroy energy and all that stuff. And
what?
And, yeah, but they just
energy to begin with. Like, how the fuck am I?
They just can't conceive of a death without them being there conscious. You know what I'm saying? So they try to say, if I denounce God, then I'm afraid that my afterlife won't be pleasant. So they're going to just go ahead and say that they believe in this God. But what they fail to realize is that you ain't tricking no God if there is a God. So if you don't believe it and you doubting, you got to be honest. And what kind of God do you want to meet at when you die? A God that wants you to believe in something that you have no evidence of, or a God that wants you to be honest and say, you didn't give me enough evidence that you was real, so I didn't believe in you.
But but according to did you watch that chick track I sent you? With,
Nah, I don't
Jake?
think so.
Okay, so according to that chick track, God supposedly have a filing cabinet with your name on it. I'm like, really, God? You got everything I done, every time I jacked off and all this other shit. You've been watching. So if I die or when I die or whatever, you're gonna say, well, I remember the time you jacked off to your grandmama's JCPenney catalog. So like, you gonna punish me for that shit? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just weird. This God is sitting here watching everything that goes on, rapes, all this other shit, and God like, I'm gonna talk to him when he die. I'm gonna talk to him. Nigga, talk to me now. If I'm fucking up, talk to me now. Make sure I don't make no other mistakes. It's just like this God is like a bad boss. Like, I'm gonna hire them, but if they fuck up, I'm gonna deal with them when I fire them. Instead of giving me corrective action, you're gonna wait till you fire me in order to correct me. What's the point? You firing me, motherfucker. So if God, if you finna fire me, why the hell you gonna tell me what I did fucked up and say, hey, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be on your phone too long. Don't be texting. Don't be on the computer. Blah blah blah. You gonna wait till I'm on the computer texting and all this other shit.
God is, they made this God into just an evil character. Like this fictional motherfucker is still evil as fuck. Like fucking Lord Voldemort. Because
Voldemort, exactly, bro. I couldn't think of the name. I'm glad you brought it up.
You create something.
I'm glad you brought it up.
And you say, okay, I'm gonna create these people. And I'm gonna give them a choice. They can either do good or do bad. I'm gonna give them that choice. But if they choose to do bad, I'm gonna torture them forever. That's
right when I'm about to fire their ass. When you get fired, I'm not gonna tell you anything. I'm just gonna let you fuck up so I can fire you. Instead of like God, it costs $820 to hire somebody. So God, what are you doing? So God must got a lot of money. But does God want every preacher, every church to pay for his bills? Collection plates? Y'all ain't thought about that shit? Christians? Collection plates? Collecting for what? You collecting for this God that you never seen? Well, damn, y'all should give me and Kweli a collection plate. Y'all see us. But shit, if you're gonna give us some, if you're gonna pass around a collection plate and give $2, $3, $5, maybe your whole like 10% of your check to this God you ain't never seen, give it to us. We need the shit. I'm just saying. The atheist church need the damn collection plate, because I know a lady when I was doing security at a club in Austin, and she said, "Oh no, I can't spend no more money. I gotta give this to God." I said, "How much money you got?" She said, $320. I started to say, "Well, give it to me. At least you'll get some truth out of it." But I didn't say anything. I should have said something. You're gonna give $320 to a man that you never, or a man or a woman that you never seen, and you're gonna say, "I'm gonna give this to God." But if me and Kweli need a donation for our platform, you can't give us $320, but you're gonna give it $320 to a guy that says, "Oh, it's for God."
Because God is all powerful. He's all powerful. He just can't handle money. He just ain't figured that part out yet.
Hey, what's that nigga name? Not nigga, but George. Yes, he said he can't handle money, but he loves
ain't figured that part out.
He ain't figured the part out yet. So if you Christians want the truth, donate to the atheist church. And also we do reverse collection plate. At least we give money back to people. But ask yourself, Christians that's watching this platform, do your church give money back to you? Ask yourself that question, because this is an atheist church that will give money to you if you need it. We don't need your money. I mean, we kind of do. But we're going to be honest about it. Kweli, am I right or wrong? We're going to be honest about it, like, hey, you know what? To kind of keep us going, can you give us at least $5? You know what I'm saying? $5. We'll give you 50, but can you give us 5 back? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, man, what we're dealing with is cognitive dissonance, and that's not gonna happen because they think Aladdin, if they give a homeless person, bro. Me and my old lady, we was headed to Trader Joe's in South Fort Worth on Hewlin. My wife said, "Babe, can you give him the last $4 that you got?" I said, "Baby, hell no. I'm not gonna get this nigga $4. I don't know who this dude is, baby, but we'll be blessed." Baby, blessed with what?
Man,
we ain't gonna be blessed with shit. If I give him $4 that I got in my pocket,
hell no, you ain't
might
gonna.
well turn around and go back home.
I tried that shit, man. When I was down like on my last, I think I had, if I remember correctly, I had $7 to my name, but I had a job. It wasn't no good job. I was working at a fast food restaurant, but it was a job. And I seen these two dudes digging through the trash. Now, I had $7. I put $5 in my gas tank, and I gave each of those dudes $1. It left me flat broke. But in my head at the time, this was years ago. In my head at the time, I'm thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna get back." I wasn't even thinking about no Jesus and Christ. Like, this was after I was out of Christianity. I was just thinking, "Oh, karma gonna bring this back around, or the law of attraction and all that bullshit." I put this out into the universe. It's gonna come back. I just helped these dudes because I was fucked up, but I wasn't digging through no trash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I seen these two dudes digging through the trash. So I was like, man, let me get them. I gave each of them $1. First of all, only one of them niggas said thank you, and I was like, okay, but whatever. I didn't do that to get no thank you. I did that to get the return of the karma or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And long story short, I was just broke as fuck. You know, didn't nothing come after that. And I thought about that for a long time, like, because I had a couple bad experiences, and I was like, man, but I gave them dudes my last. Like, how the fuck is like God not looking out for me? You know what I'm saying? So, but shit, ain't no fucking God to look out for you. Now it all make sense. You know what I mean? So y'all go ahead and try that giving to get method. It don't fucking work. They preachers will tell you that shit. These motherfucking so-called psychics will tell you that shit because they telling you to give to them. All these people that accept donations tell you to give. You know what I'm saying? And giving is gonna bless you in some type of way. No, giving ain't gonna do nothing but give. And you give out of the kindness of your heart, and you ain't getting that back. You gave it. But if you give to get something, you ain't getting that shit back. I know from experience. I tried that shit. That shit don't work. And all y'all people that believe in karma and all that shit, I'm a little bit on the fence, but I don't think that shit is real at all. Because I see some people get away with some fucked up shit. I'm talking about I done seen some folk get away with it. So
my old lady, she gets mad at me when I tell her this shit. The same shit you just told me, I don't. She said, "Baby, here, give him $1. Babe, keep that $1. We need to go to Trader Joe's, okay? We need to go get some grocery, some baby wipes or something." Fuck all that. She gets mad at me. I said, "Babe, what have we done if we give to this home person? What would it do? Are we still going to struggle? You're basically kind of helping their struggle instead of helping our struggle."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, Ultimate Truth, or whoever the fuck y'all out there, we've been on hour and 12 minutes. Please explain how this genie in the lamp God helps us if we give, helps us if we submit. Because why would I submit to a motherfucker that's basically not helping my struggle? I mean, come on now. Nigga, you struggling, Ultimate Truth. I know you're struggling. You in Nigeria or wherever the fuck you are. You're a black African that's worshiping a Mesopotamian god. You're not from Mesopotamia. But yet your evidence of this shit is through mathematical numbers. Bro, what has mathematical numbers done for your life? Can you cam up and show us a mansion? Can you cam up and show us a BMW? Hell fucking no. I put all the money I got right now on that shit. You will never cam up and show me that you got a mansion because you believe in the Quran or a mathematical number. I'll put my money right now on some shit that you think that it got you a car, a damn Jaguar. You in Africa, believing in a Eurocentric belief system. You talking about, oh, my money, oh, my mathematics, it equals up to this, so this must be the truth. Bitch, if you, nigga, ultimate truth, call in right now, cam up, show us your mansion, and show us your Jaguar, and me and Kweli, we will, if you can do that, I promise you, me and Kweli will stop the Atheist Church. Call in. We're waiting. We'll wait. Kweli, you know in your mind, and I know in my mind, that's never gonna happen because this nigga is just a clown. Ultimate truth, you a clown, okay? Because you're never gonna prove that you got a fucking mansion from a genie in the lamp from Aladdin's. What's that damn genie called from Aladdin? I'm just gonna call him Genie. You're not gonna prove to us that you got a fucking yeah. You ain't gonna be able to prove that to us.
No.
But Ultimate Truth, he's still on the live chat. I can't see anything.
Yeah, he in the live chat. He talking about he said being broke is not about having money. Satan has fooled you. Believers do not chase money but blessings. I am ready to give $800 out of my 1,000 to the needy.
Come on, hey, me and Kweli, we both need it.
Send it to the Cash App, to the Atheist Church Cash App, and prove like it. First of all, I'm 100% sure that you're not gonna do it. So I don't even really want to finish that sentence. But the shit right there on the screen, if you really a man of your word and you talking about you want to give it to the needy, it's right there. I don't need it, but I put it on the Atheist Church Cash App.
I paid all my rent, man. I'm broke, man. I can't get my wife nails done.
Send it to Kwame. Ultimate
yeah, send it to me, man. You know what?
But watch this, though. I guarantee you he ain't going to send it to you. I put money on that. I put money on that. Send me 400.
Send me 400 so I can get my old lady nails done. If you can send me 400, I'll get my nails. Bro, if you send me 400 right now, I'll become a Muslim with you. Let's see. Let's see if you got that type of money. If you real in what you saying.
Well, see the way his bank account is set up. See, you know what I'm saying? He got a checking and a savings, and all the money is in the savings. See, and it's gonna take 2-3 business days to go through. Yeah, he don't think it's gonna clear.
Hey, Ultimate Truth, call in, man. Let's have a discussion.
He already made an excuse as to why he can't call in. He talking about some of his computer microphone for some dumb lie. That's why he don't want to join.
Yeah, Ultimate Truth, you full of shit just like the Christians. You're full of shit.
They're all full of shit, man.
All full of shit, man. You from Nigeria, but you believe in a Mesopotamian religion. You're African. You're the original person. But you're gonna believe in somebody that came after you religion? How the fuck does that work? This is like me believing in something and then forcing Kweli to believe in something that I believe in, but Kweli existed before me. You know what I'm saying? What kind of shit is that? Like how can I get a person to believe in something that existed before me?
He said he ain't gonna give you your money because you are atheist.
Oh, so you don't have it. Okay. So you don't have it. Okay. Hey, y'all heard that, people? Ultimate Truth don't have the money. He's broke. He's just as broke as me and Kweli. Well, Kweli might have a little bit more than me. Womp. Hey, Ultimate Truth, thanks for proving that your bullshit is bullshit. Okay. Thank you, Ultimate Truth. Damn, I can't get my old lady nails done. Shit. I don't know how I'm gonna get the money. I thought I paid all my rent, my bills, and all that shit without God. Cause that nigga, my old lady was praying to God. I'm saying, you know what, babe? The rent's paid for. And I show her the receipt. Oh, baby, thank you. Oh, yeah, you thanking me. But you better not ever think of God. If I'm paying your rent, not your rent, but the rent that this is my house. I've been here for 2 years. And you thank God, I'm going to put you out. See if God help you out then. You feel me? So, shit, that's on everything. She know not to thank God in this motherfucking house because God don't exist here. God don't exist in my motherfucking house. But ultimate truth, thanks for proving us that you're full of shit. That's probably all that you got is $800 from your damn $2 an hour labor job in Africa. Sorry, bro.
So why do people like the ultimate false think that they can think that they have a need to defend God? So
that's
you believe in a God, but you gonna try to do something to an atheist on behalf of a God instead of letting the God handle the atheist that you claim God got all the power, but you over here doing this dirty work allegedly, and he really told you to do it.
No, it's math. It's a math. It's a sixth grade math problem. So ultimate truth didn't graduate sixth grade. So
he clearly didn't, man. He didn't graduate sixth grade. He seemed like he had the helmet on in school.
Bro, he had the helmet and a slice of bologna on the back of the bus and licking it.
Yeah, he was at lunch. He was at that lunch table where it's only like 6 people and they all drooling. Wasn't true.
And they all got lunch trays with nothing on it. And the lunch lady's like, "Hey, y'all need to come get y'all food." And they
Hey man, I'm gonna start talking about it before makeup. Look, they thought I was retarded when I was little. They did. They thought I was special, man. They had me in a slow class and everything. My best friend was a retarded dude. I ain't know he was retarded until I grew up a little bit. But they had to tell my parents your son ain't nothing wrong with him. He actually pretty smart. Then they tried to skip me up a grade, so I went from retarded to smart. So ultimate truth, there's hope. There's hope, brother.
There's hope for you, man. I mean, tomorrow when you go to the lunch table, man, you might get a free meal. I don't know. If you working or you still in school, because the way you talk to us, like you dealing with math a lot. You deal with math a lot. So
need to start dealing with some science, man. All that math you doing, you try some science. That's a subject too.
Yeah, it's more readily apt to you, but you want to deal with mathematics. See, how can everybody count 124 F's and 37 E's and then did not say this is God? Like, why would God be concerned about how many letters are in your prophecy? I'm saying, what kind of God is this, man? I mean, is your God
I don't see why people think that God want to write a book in the first place. Like, what make you think God is an author? But that's the way he want to communicate. You know what my people need? A book. That way they can have a relationship with me.
Really? A book.
Really? That's how you have a relationship with your kids? You leave them books and notes on the refrigerator and shit? Or do you have a real relationship with your kids? Come on, y'all. Y'all got to wake up at some point.
Wake up, ultimate truth. Wake up, black people. People, please. Wake the fuck up. Not just black people, but white people too. Because y'all are the worst. Y'all still thinking we niggers and y'all still thinking of Jim Crow and shit. Like, we got called niggers like last week.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody's scared of this show. They're scared. They're scared of your show, Kweli. Like, they will not call in because they know we're gonna really challenge their ass. For real. This is the most challenging. If I was a Christian, I wouldn't call in either. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I wouldn't call in.
I'd be scared that these niggas gonna change my belief. They're gonna convert me.
Cause look, bro, we give Christians the floor. We give Christians the floor, and we basically question their beliefs. Like, Pastor not gonna call in no more. Pastor called in, and he was like, "Oh shit, not gonna do that no more." Pastor was like, "Nope, not gonna do that. Nope." So, Jesus the way, or whatever your fucking name is, Pastor. I know we're not gonna hear from you no more because this was the one of the shows that made you basically admit to yourself that your God is at fault. He admitted to himself.
Man.
Yeah, but Kweli, you made him admit to himself that God was at fault. He didn't want to say it directly, but Kweli, you made this man admit that God was at fault for the tree.
That's why that method of just asking questions is the best way, because it's like, if I just tell you, well, it's God's fault, you're gonna just say no, it's not. Okay, well, let's just ask these questions. Okay, if you leave something around your kids and they grab it, whose fault is it? Well, it's your fault for leaving it there. Okay, so if God leaves something around and they touch it, then whose fault is it? Well, it's not their fault. See, that's what. But even if he don't admit it, it really don't matter, because everybody that's watching can see what just happened. You know what I'm saying? So just like with idiots like Ultimate Truth talk about, you ain't gonna be happy in life, but you watching the show. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very happy in life, especially since I don't believe in God. When I was believing in God, man, I was confused and fucking miserable. Soon as I stopped believing in God, my eyes was open. So it was like, damn, everything started making sense. That's why the world fucked up, because ain't no goddamn God. That's why my prayers ain't getting answered, because ain't nobody listening.
That fucking part. Ultimate Truth. So Ultimate Truth, I know you be jacking off. I know you be playing with yourself. You can't lie and deny that shit.
Because you damn sure ain't getting no pussy.
Exactly, bro. You on jerk mates. I know you be on jerk mates. So Ultimate Truth, stop playing with yourself and stop playing with this whole belief system. Mainly stop playing with yourself, because you need some semen retention. Because maybe if you had semen retention, you would think logically. You would think really logically.
This might just be, you know what, he might not even be a believer, man. This might just be another one of them Nigerian scams. This nigga just trying to get some type of roundabout way to scam us or some shit.
Yeah.
Trying to get some personal information.
Right. So since we cannot get normally we would get Christians or Muslims or Judaism people. Bro, the show that we present is too fucking powerful. They do not want to call into this show because they know we're not gonna let them get away with dishonesty, true Scotsman, probability of incredulity. We're not gonna let them get with nothing. So they were to call us a show that's gonna basically kind of baby them and kind of like pacify them. When you call to the atheist church, you're not gonna get pacified. You're not gonna get pacified here. Like, we're gonna basically, like, how do you know that? For real. You know, I'm not saying that the atheist experience does a bad job. They do an actual good job. But the thing with the atheist church, they scared. They know it's some brothers that's basically atheists, and they know some brothers. See, what my wife told me, man, and she told me this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. She told me, she said, nobody would call into the Black Atheist show because they can't believe that Black people are atheists. That's a problem, Kweli. Like, they can't believe that Black people are not believing. I said, why do you say that, babe? She said, because Black people were forced to believe in Jesus Christ. Really? Is that why you was forced to believe in Jesus Christ? And she got quiet, turned over, and went to sleep. Yep. So y'all calling to the right show. If y'all calling to the right, now we're gonna have some white trolls call us niggas and say that this Jesus is our Lord and Savior. Fuck that dude and whatever. Can't prove it, but the thing is, when you deal with us, we're gonna give you truth. We're gonna basically let you have the floor. We want to know what you believe and why. A lot of shows, well, there are some shows that want you to they want to know what you believe and why, but we're going to challenge you. And see, I think the thing is that us being brothers, black men, we're challenging black beliefs because mostly the people that call in are black people. Well, we have some white people too, but you know, but ain't no Christian, white or black, called in and say why they have a personal relationship with God. I don't know if my intro was too strong for them, because all the shit that I basically mentioned in my intro was some shit that y'all say to me and Kweli. Y'all say this shit to us. Oh, God, help me pay my bills. Really? Where's the receipt? You ask for receipts. Like, did they come from Jesus Christ Association? And yeah, we want to ask for receipts.
She said, God help her get an internship.
Really? Call in and tell us about it. Tell her call in.
No, I'm saying that's what you remember. That's what the old girl said last time she was on. She said, God help her get an internship in Atlanta.
And you probably couldn't even research that shit. For real. If she gave you her full name, you probably wouldn't even be able to yeah. But see, it's a disbelief and a shock to black people that black people are atheists because they think it's a white religion. But Christianity, Judaism, Islam come from Europeans and Arabs. So what's the problem with us not believing in the shit that basically was used against us as a brutal vice? Christianity, Judaism, Islam was used as a brutal vice to enslave our ancestors, to keep us dumb, to keep us in check. Now that you believe the shit, you feel like that's the right thing to believe in because you was enslaved under it. Where our ancestors were enslaved, and shit been passed down. Grandmama, big mama passed it down to my grandmama. Grandmama passed it down to my mama. Mama passed it down to me, thinking that it was the right thing to do. That's why you believe because of Big Mama. You don't believe because a guy zapped the knowledge in your head. God did not zap a fucking knowledge of himself in your fucking head. You believe the shit because Big Mama told Grandmama. Exactly. Grandmama told Mama. Mama told you. That's why you're a Christian.
And the slave owner told Big Mama.
Yeah.
And then Dinesh D'Souza was debating Christopher Hitchens, and he was talking about who you gonna believe if most of the people in the world believe in God and a small percentage of them don't. If it's 100 people and 97 of them believe in God and 3 of them don't, what's more likely, that the 97 are wrong and the 3 are right, or that the 3 are wrong and the 97 are right? Well, you make assumption in that analogy that the people who believe in God came to the belief on their own. And that's what makes the assumption null and void, because that's not how people come to believe in God. They get taught to believe in God. So in that analogy, if the 97 people were all indoctrinated and fucking brainwashed by their parents, who was brainwashed by their parents, who was brainwashed by their parents, who was brainwashed by their parents, who traced this shit back, and then you get to a point where motherfuckers had to believe this religion or they would kill you, then that means you didn't really have a choice to believe it or not. So you can't use the analogy of saying, well,
you had to pretend that you believe. You had to pretend. Yeah. You had to pretend that you believed in God.
And then what's even worse, not only do you have to pretend that you believe, but the parent would then teach their kid to believe and not tell their kid that they're pretending, because they want their kid to be safe. You know what I'm saying? So they want their kids to actually believe this, because if the slave master see that you don't believe this, they're going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Just like when they find out like that me and you atheists and then white people want to control our show. But if we was on here preaching God, you think they would control us?
No.
Really? Exactly.
You know what, Kweli? Because since I work for Armored Car and everything, bro, we go to the 7-Eleven on in Pleasant Grove. It's like Pleasant Grove, Oak Cliff area. So, bro, guess what? On Saturdays when we do, bro, tell me why we got 12 Hebrew Israelites out there preaching to God, talking about they hate the white man, but Dallas PD don't pull them. Dallas PD don't say move around. Why don't Dallas PD tell them, hey, you preaching hate? You know why? Because they want to keep you there. They want to keep you in that shit. But if Kweli come to Dallas and I give him a place to stay or whatever, I pay for his room and he come down here stay with me or whatever, and we're up here preaching consciousness. Do you think the police? Yeah, the police gonna stop us, because guess what? Who gonna call the police on us? Some fucking Christian, some fucking Muslim. But I don't see nobody calling no police on the Hebrew Israelites that be on every corner every fucking Saturday talking about they hate the white man and they reading Bible verses talking about the white man gonna die. But if me and Kweli go out here in Dallas, or if I come to Atlanta and Kweli help me out or whatever, and we preaching that we don't need to believe in the white man's religion no more, me and Kweli probably get locked up, probably say, hey, y'all gotta move around. See what I'm saying? Y'all don't look at that shit. Cause Hebrew Israelites to be out there how long they be well, Kweli, the most I've witnessed them nigger brews to be out there was like 5 hours. Me and Kweli can be out there for maybe 30 minutes telling y'all, hey, religion ain't real. Cause somebody gonna call the police on us. Am I right or wrong, Kweli?
That's facts. Hold on, we got another confused Christian, Alicia Brown. You can feel free to click the link and, you know what I'm saying, explain to us that you're not confused. But she talking that dumb shit, talking about some Big Mama taught me mathematics, therefore by our logic, mathematics isn't true because it was taught to me. So I don't know what part of the show you chimed in on, but that ain't what we were saying. First of all, we weren't speaking in analogies at all. We were talking about actual facts, and we weren't saying that just because somebody told you something that wasn't true. We were just saying that that's how you came to know about it. So therefore, you can't say that because somebody know this, or because a whole bunch of people believe this, that's leading some credence to it being true, because they did. It's not like they believe it because they saw it. They believe it because they were taught it. Now, in real life, you were taught about your religion from your parents. In real life, you were not taught mathematics by your big mama. So I don't know why you would even try to make that analogy, because we're talking about real life. So what you're doing is some mental gymnastics of trying to make us not make sense, but you were just exposing the fact that you having a hard time accepting the truth, because you got to go to an analogy that don't make no sense. So in real life, you were taught about Christianity from your parents, but you were taught about mathematics from your school. So why the hell would you try to make that analogy, ma'am? So
exactly,
you're not even being honest.
This not. You know what? I'm 37 years old. My grandmama died in 1992. So in 1992, I was like 8, 9 years old. My big mama didn't teach me mathematics. My grandmother didn't even teach me mathematics. My own mother didn't even teach me mathematics. So I know you're just full of shit. But if you're not full of shit, you got the link. Please explain to us. Please explain to us how your big mama taught you mathematics. Because I don't think Big Mama was even concerned with mathematics. She was concerned with survival, cleaning houses, kissing white folks' asses, Jim Crow. My big mama was surviving around. She didn't go to a mathematician. She didn't go to Carl Sagan like, hey, Carl Sagan, I want to learn math so I can teach my atheist great grandson, about this shit. No, my great grandmama was concerned with survival. So I know you full of shit, sis. But if you're not full of shit, the link is in the description. You can call it to the show. We'll let you have the floor and tell the world how Big Mama taught you mathematics and what exactly did she teach you that the school didn't teach you. We're waiting.
Yeah, and even if you did get taught something by somebody, that don't mean that it's true. And you got to understand that that's the whole crux of what we talking about on this channel. The way that you determine what is true and what is not. You don't go by what somebody said. So we introduced to y'all the concept of logical fallacies. So these are ways that you know that what you're talking about is not true. So if you believe in something and the reason why you believe it is a logical fallacy, then you probably believe in something that's not true. Or even if it is true, you don't have a justification for your belief. So if your grandma taught you something, you can go verify it. If your grandma teach you 2 + 2 is 4, well, you can go verify that. You can go to other sources from way different places that don't even know your grandma and get the same information. Then you can see it. You can get 2 of anything and put another 2 of that same thing with it, and then you count them, and then you end up with 4 through experiment. So now you got verification, you got other sources, and you got experiment proving that what your grandma said is true. Now, if your grandma say that Jesus is God and he died for your sins, and I go to the other side of the world and I get different information, and then I try to verify it, and I see that people don't come back from the dead, and then I look for this motherfucker Jesus, and I see the letter J wasn't even around until the 16th century. Well, your grandma looked like a lying ass motherfucker, or either she was mistaken. So don't be all in the chat acting like we full of shit when your ass is full of shit and you scared to call in. I hate when y'all do that shit all in the chat, but you ain't gonna call in or jump in, but you got so much disrespectful shit to put in the chat. Call your bitch ass in.
Call in. Oh no, Kweli, you cuss too much. You sound aggressive. Really? You don't think that this religion was aggressive enough to keep out the lost and
they got a problem. They got a problem with my language and my lingo, but they ain't got a problem with the preachers raping little boys and taking money out the community and stealing money from your grandmama for years. Her whole life, your grandmama been giving money to the church.
And you want
to come say something to me because I say fuck a lot. Fuck you.
And you want to say oh, grandmama ain't having enough money to go to Brooks's to get us some bologna. So we had to basically borrow some money from the next door neighbor. But no, great grandma, big mama gave the pastor $12 because that's all she made, babysitting or whatever. But we couldn't go get no fried bologna and bread. We had to go to the neighbor to get some fried bologna and bread. You know the struggle that black people went through. I want a black person. I want ultimate truth. I want this lady that's in the comments. Call in and tell us one thing that Christianity, Judaism, or Islam has done for our people that we can verify without other humans interfering. Because it seems like ultimate truth, you still a broke nigga. Because for you to say you got $800 to give me and Kweli, nigga, you broke. Bro, this is $1 million. This is a multi-million-dollar channel that we got up. If you only sending us $800, you're a broke nigga. Ultimate truth, you're a broke nigga. But you're gonna give your $800 to a. Yeah.
That's the second time that he done that. That's the second time that he's brought up money and said that he would put some money up and then haven't done it. He did that shit when my Sunrise was on. He did that to him.
Yeah, my Sunrise ate you up. He ate you up. Oh, I had a boy, my boy Yeshua, a Hebrew Israelite. He was a former Hebrew Israelite. He called him. Well, his name was actually Yeshua because his parents were Hebrew Israelite. But he dismantled the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. I sent him a message and I told him, I said, come on to the show, but he's supposed to call in. But yeah, Yeshua will even tell you ultimate truth that you full of shit. And he's an American African. He hates the fact that his parents named him Yeshua, but he deals with it because it's just a name. It's nothing that's gonna basically substantiate any of his truths or anything. But the fact of the matter is, ultimate truth, you have no money. Your God's keeping you broke. Okay, you probably sleep on an air mattress that you got out the dumpster, and you from Africa. Like, how the fuck is our children, which is the European and the Arabs? The Arabs and the European are your children, bro. You existed longer than them. You were here before them. How the fuck is your children gonna tell you what to believe in? How you gonna throw away your African spirituality or whatever you call it?
Hey,
your African practice. Yeah, go ahead.
Watch this. Ultimate truth. If you call in right now, I swear to God. You call in right now. I swear to God.
To his God. Swear to his God.
It's got to be his God. It's got to be his. It's the only God he believe in. To your God, I will cash app you $50. Call in.
And that's on the church. That's on the church. That's on everything. That's on blood. No. Or crip, whatever. Whatever.
I give you $50, man. You call in and make sense, man. You can't just, troll us. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, give us a convo. You know what I mean?
He curious. Hey, Kweli, he's curious.
Man, this dude know he full of shit, man. That's why he watched the show. This dude, if you've been watching our show we almost been going for a year, bro. We started this shit last September. We almost been going for a year. If you've been watching this show this long, and you still chiming in, is because you really wrestling with your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying all this stuff because he want to hear us knock it down. He want to hear us go, man, that's not true because XYZ. Then he goes, oh damn, they right in the back of his mind. But you know what I'm saying? On the forefront, he sound like he disagreed with us. But if he really disagreed with us that much, he wouldn't be listening.
That part. And ultimate truth, we get white trolls all the time, so don't be our troll, please. Because the reason why I feel like we get more white trolls than any other atheist show is because we're the most, I would say, like I said before, we will ask questions. Like when that white boy called in and talking about Jesus is your savior, nigger. Tell me why the pastor didn't defend us as black men. That's what I want. Jesus is the way, or whatever his name to call back in. Why you didn't defend us? That's what I want to know.
Because he on 18. You know, so that's the question that I asked him. I said, how do you reconcile your nationality or your culture being the fact that you're a black man with your religion and the fact that you on the same religion as the people who hate you? Like how does that sit right in your brain? That makes sense to me.
Kweli, when you said it like that, it just makes me think about my parents, man. It makes me think about my girl. Well, my girl says she's not a Christian no more, but it makes me think about my parents. How the fuck? Like last time I went there was my baby sister graduation, and she had a sign, and my mom had a sign in her yard that said, "God bless Israel." For what? A damn desert, mama. You want God to bless a desert?
These folks done convinced these people like this the greatest con I ever seen.
This is why I fucking drink.
They done convinced these folks to put another race above their own race. And then so much so to the fact where you got a whole group of black people to claim that they are that race. They are that race. But I got something for their ass. Man, because a friend of mine supposed to be coming to visit from guess where? Guess from where? Where she from, bro?
Tell me Texas. Please don't tell me Texas.
Nah.
Oh shit, Hebrew Israelite.
Better than that.
Oh, Nepal?
Hell
Nepal
no.
Shaddai?
Hell no. Better than the Hebrew Israelite, bro. She's an actual Israelite. She's from Israel, like where they make them. And when I hope that God, you know what I'm saying, or I still talk like that, but y'all know I don't believe in no God. I hope the goodness that when she comes, she'll be willing to come on the show, because when y'all see what the fuck she look like.
Don't worry about it. I said Jesus today. I said I hope the Jesus that because I had to turn my information, because I had to turn my insurance paper, because I get insurance now, health insurance, but it ain't got no do. I said I hope the Jesus that they still open, but it ain't had nothing to do with Jesus though. I just got there on time.
Just language be rubbing off on you. But when y'all see what these Hebrews actually look like you know what I'm saying, what the Israelite actually look like, I'm gonna show you a real Israelite, and then we'll show you these nigger brews. And you tell me, you know,
call them nigger brews. Because hey, Kweli, I used to be with NBK, right? I was one of the starters of an NBK, New Black Knowledge. I don't know if you remember them. Yeah, I was a part of. I was one of the founders of NBK.
Damn.
So if you look at us on Facebook, I was a founder of NBK. And we used to Brother Garfield, all that stuff. Brother Garfield is going to come on this week. Garfield called me and told me, hey, he couldn't make it because, he doing the economic power. All this other shit. Jabari is still in Kemet. So Jabari is still in Kemet. So that's why I've been holding out, because the reason why I wanted Q to come on, because I want Q to say what he said about Jabari. Now, Jabari is going to correct him. Even Garfield said that Q misquoted Jabari. Our Africans, KRS-One with Nick Cannon, I don't know if y'all seen that video. Nobody believed in a God. It was just a universe. They look up and say, this is us and we are that.
Yeah, but
You know
that's
what
what they have a hard time understanding. So like what KRS-One, he didn't really get that in depth into it. But basically what KRS-One was saying was that
I'm saying?
ancient Africans didn't believe in a god like they, in the sense that people do today. What they
Yeah.
believed in, or what their religion was, and Jabari explained this too. What the religion was, it was the fact that they looked at the forces of the universe,
Nature, forces of nature.
the natural forces of the universe as divine. So like they didn't call like something out there God. They just looked at the sun and said, well, that's where we get our life from. So that's what we're gonna call, you know what I'm saying, the divine force or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's not in the same sense
the
that
Neteru.
it's not in that magical sense that these religions have today. And little secret that y'all don't know, y'all do the same thing. Y'all just worship in the sun, but y'all so fucking illiterate that y'all don't fucking read, so y'all don't know that y'all worship in the sun. Y'all call it Jesus, but Jesus ain't nothing but a personification of the sun. So y'all, it's just
Of
the
the
same
sun, of the light.
ancient African religion remixed up and remastered and repackaged and handed down to you in the auspice of a European culture. That's all it is. But if you go back to the original, they was just worshiping the forces of nature, that saying that these are the creative forces, and whatever sprang the whole creative thing all out together. They didn't know what it was, but they just gave it a name. So
That's why
now
I have that tattoo right there.
you fast forward two or more than that, 10,000 years into the future where we are now, and then y'all trying to figure out why they believed in Ra and Isis and all this, but these were names that they gave to natural forces of nature, not some god in the sky or some shit. So basically,
Yeah.
that's what KRS-One was saying, but he just said it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, with Nick Cannon, because but you know what? I still don't understand why Nick Cannon still wear a turban though. I don't know.
He said, he explained it, but I forgot what he said, man. I think once you get a certain amount of money, you just do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah. But like I said, you know what? It's not about the belief system, Kweli. What I'm gonna tell you, I think it's about the afterlife. See, this whole religious shit is based off of the after. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, y'all. The whole religious thing is based off of the afterlife. They want to know that there is something after that when they die. Because I know my cousin that passed away last month. Rise in Power, my brother. He was concerned. He said, "Look, when I moved in with him before I got my own place, he said I don't want to hear about your atheist stuff." I said, "What about my atheist stuff that you don't like? I don't like the fact that you don't believe in Jesus and God." I said, "Okay, Junior. What do you believe about it?" "Well, I know they rose from my dead and died for my sins." I said, "So you believe there's an afterlife?" Now he passed away. He was 38 years old when he passed away. I said, "Junior, do you really think that you're gonna go to heaven if you die?" He said, "Yes." Now that he's dead, I can't ask him that question. I don't want to ask him that question because I love life. Because I can't tell I can't tell Kweli what I was doing in 1983. And I was born in 1984, June 21st, 1984. My cousin was born, I forgot June's birthday, but he's born in 82. Why do people feel like that it's okay to lose your life? Like, look, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. Christians sing songs about going to die, right? Am I right or wrong, Kweli? I'm going up beyond there to be with my Lord, all this other stuff. But when it's time for them to die, they scared. Yonder to be with my Lord, and then when it's time for them to die, they scared. They going to the hospital. Just go on up there. You think you're gonna be up there? Go on up there. Don't go to the hospital. Don't waste no doctor's time and
cognitive dissonance.
Yes. My mom is a true Christian believer. She sang songs about I'm gonna be with my Lord and all this other shit. But then you went and got cancer treatment. But mama gonna tell me what God put on their heart to heal me. God put it on their heart to give for the wisdom to give me. Mama, you just got over breast cancer. And mama, if you want to really be with God, why stay on earth? If earth is hell, why stay here? Christians, if y'all are having hell on earth and y'all singing songs about going with God, being dead. Why the fuck y'all gonna go to the hospital for help? If you're having a heart attack, just leave be at your house and have a heart attack. Hopefully somebody finds you and, I know for me, I'm going to go for help because I don't believe there's no afterlife. I want to live as long as I can. But for you Christians, for you Muslims, for you Jews, you having a heart attack, you having a stroke or whatever, just lay there. If you're going to be with your God, if that's what you believe. But no, you want to call 911. That's how I know. That's how me and Kweli know that y'all don't really believe the shit y'all saying. Ultimate truth, female or whatever, you don't believe in your God like you do. Because I guarantee if your child is sick or if you sick, guess what? You're going to the clinic. You're going to use your Medicaid card and you're going to go to the clinic and find out what's wrong with your child. But if you know that your child is dying and is going to go be with God, let the child go. But no, y'all not going to do that shit. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't have a relationship with a God. Y'all have a relationship with a belief. You have a relationship with something that's not verifiable. You have a relationship with something that's been told to you. You don't have a relationship with that shit. Stop fooling yourselves. Wake the fuck up. That's what me and Kweli is telling you. You don't have a relationship with a God. You don't have a relationship with the fucking Jesus. You have a relationship with a belief. And that's what's killing you. That's what's giving you cognitive dissonance. That's what Kweli talks about all the time on his show. You have cognitive dissonance. Let the shit go. Because your child or you dying, guess what? 911, my child is not breathing. He don't know what's wrong with him. Instead of saying, okay, God, going to take my child to your kingdom. Nobody's calling God to say, take my child to your kingdom or take you to the kingdom. No, y'all calling 911. Am I right or wrong, Kweli?
Facts.
Stop saying that bullshit. Stop saying that you believe in a God when you call 911. Because God ain't 911. It's imaginary. It's your imagination. Like SpongeBob said, it's your imagination.
Ain't it mighty convenient if somebody wanted to enslave a people, ain't it mighty convenient to make them more concerned about the afterlife than they are concerned about the here and now?
The current life.
If they enslaved and they doing my bidding, then I don't want them concerned about the here and now. I just want them to think that, oh, it's all gonna be that better when they die.
Kweli, you said something I never even thought about, bro. That's why I said right. When you said that, that's why I was like, right. Why are you concerned about the current life why are you not concerned with the current life but you're concerned with the afterlife? Kweli, you just said something. I was thinking about it, but I could not say it, bro.
That's why I always call the Bible the slave's guide to the universe, because it will guide you into being a really good slave. That's why they gave the Bible to the slaves. That's why they want everybody to be a fucking Bible believer. That's the reason why I don't want to get this vaccine, because they trying too hard to get me to get it. The same way they try so hard to get you to believe the shit, and I just don't buy the bullshit. The same motherfuckers that put smallpox blankets in the natives, and these people act like they forgot.
Yeah, the Chinese motherfuckers, but you know what? The Chinese motherfuckers get anti-Chinese hate rights or whatever, but black people can't get anti-hate black people.
Tell me about it, man.
Black people?
How long have we been getting like hated in America, and they just now made a law against anti-Asian? Like, I ain't got nothing against Asian, but I'm like, how the fuck you gonna have a law for Asians before you have a law for black people? How the fuck?
Bro, and Kweli, this happened within 5 months, but we've been over here for 450 years, and we don't have an anti-hate black law. We don't have an anti-black law hate group or whatever.
Exactly.
But these motherfuckers get maybe 50 years, and now all of a sudden you want to say anti-Asian hate, anti-Asian hate, but cops still shooting us down. But y'all believe in God. Christians, babe.
You fucked up because
my wife's standing right. She's standing right there. I'm like, babe. I'm looking at my old lady right now, babe. Really. You ain't gotta walk away, but really, for real. You always want to come in here, but you don't want. Okay, I'm gonna go along. All right, cool.
It's cognitive dissonance, man. Like that's the main thing plaguing the minds of the people is this cognitive dissonance. If that word could just get like, if people just knew what it was, then they would realize that they display that shit a lot. You cannot have two opposing beliefs in your head at the same time.
That part.
But that's what everybody got.
Ultimate truth. Call in, or the female that you talk to, call in and tell me why God does not have an anti-black, hate black law or whatever, but they got an anti-hate Asian law. I want y'all to call in to tell me what God told you.
He wouldn't even call in for the $50. I know he ain't gonna call in now. So.
He's a troll, man. He's a troll. He don't believe in his own shit. But you know what? We get way more views offline, off stream, versus that when we get, because they afraid. They know that we're gonna. Because Kweli, if you debated a prominent evangelical Christian and whooped his ass, do you think that motherfuckers gonna call into your show when you whooped a prominent evangelical Christian? Kweli, you're gonna have a hard time. Yeah, you're gonna have this is the prominent guy. This is a Ken Ham, this is a Ken Hovind motherfucker that you debated. And Christians even know you demolished him. They're not gonna call into your show, bro. Because you demolished him as just a regular atheist. You're not Matt Dillahunty. You're not Chris.
But that's the thing about it though. Like that's why I like talking about this stuff, because you don't got to be no expert on it if you know it's true. It's just like if a motherfucker want to debate me on 2 + 2 is 4, I ain't got to be no mathematician.
That part.
I know I'm gonna win that debate. You know what I'm saying? Because 2 + 2 is 4, and we can prove it. So I know there ain't no God.
That when I was laying in my bed today. You know, I work night shift. Well, I work day shift, but I was off today, and I watched her debate. I said, man, me and Kweli, we're not gonna get no responders, but we're gonna get viewers. We're gonna get viewers, trust me. But nobody's gonna really call into our show because they're afraid. Now that pastor, that black dude that called in, he was brave. He was brave as fuck. And I know with me just analyzing, I say, okay, let me put myself in a position of a Christian. Would I call into this man's show? Hell fucking no. Because this was a prominent evangelical Christian. You supposed to lose to him, but you didn't. And I'm not saying because I'm an atheist myself, but other Christians know that he didn't do well against you. Because he said, you know, you believe in God, and you're like, no, oh wait, no, you don't. When you reverse it on him, bro, that he shut down.
Mm-hmm. That's what I couldn't get it past him. Like dude had like one dumbass question he asked me that took me a while to answer because it was a stupid question, and he tried to make that seem like he scored a point or something because it took me a while.
As a point that you actually believe in God.
Yeah, I'm like, even if it was, even if I give you that, and I did give it to him, if I say, okay, I concede that point. How many other times did I have to give you pause this whole conversation? You had like 2-hour conversation. I asked him like 6 questions that stumped him, and he got one question that was really just a dumb question. It was so dumb, I had to go back and you know what I'm saying, like I didn't know how to answer it. So I had to think about it, you know what I'm saying? So he thought that he had stumped me.
Epistemology. So evangelical Christians always ask about a question of epistemology. But when you handled that so well, bro, I was like, if I was a Christian, I wouldn't call into your show either. That's how like I said, if I put myself in the mind of a Christian, I wouldn't call your show either. Because the way you handled that epistemology question, it was a question of epistemology. So he wanted to feel like, where do you get your morals from, basically, and if that makes sense. As an atheist myself, I get that all the time, and I'll say, well, I don't have an epistemology; it's nature. So there's no way you can debate. You can debunk or debate nature.
Exactly. I be trying to have that conversation with women when I try to get them to come over to the more polygamous lifestyle, and you know the first thing they say is, I don't want to share my man. I don't want no another woman sleeping with my man or whatever. And then I try to explain to them like, first of all, whether you polygamous or not, somebody else gonna be sleeping with your man. First of all. Second of all,
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I took my old lady to the club. I don't mean to cut you off, but I think I might end up getting a polygamous relationship. I want this motherfucking white girl that
don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
I want that shit so bad. I want that shit so bad, bro.
But yeah,
go ahead, bro.
But that's the way. The reason why polygamy is better than monogamy is because is the way that nature has set it up for a man to be able to impregnate a woman every hour or every 10 minutes or however often he can do it if he got that many women willing to do it with him. But a woman can only get pregnant once every 10 months. So nature has said that it's allowed for a man to have more than one mother to his children, given a short amount of time, but a woman in the same amount of time is not allowed, or so to speak, in air quotes, by nature to do that, because that's just the way that her body is set up. She has to go through the gestation period. So that's why polygamy makes sense. Lions have no problem. They understand this, and they live their life like this, and it works out. You have a male lion, and he have about 9 or 10 or however many women he can get, and they if they find another male that's better suited, they'll leave his ass and go get the other man. But it's a polygamous lifestyle because that's the way that nature has set it up. So if you look at the way that the relationships go, it's basically a 50-50 chance if you're in a monogamous relationship. Well, you can cut those odds down if you're in a polygamous relationship. You know what I mean? Because even if you're in a monogamous relationship, the best case scenario is y'all gonna be happy for a few years, and then one of y'all gonna die, and you back where you started at.
Yep.
That's best case scenario. You know what I'm saying? But in a polygamous relationship, one of y'all die, at least you still got it. The other one or whatever. It's just better to me. But yeah, nature is the arbiter of this, not some opinion or some God.
You're right. It's the arbiter. It's the arbiter of this. And a lot of people look at it from a European perspective, because Europeans created the whole quote unquote thing about marriage and God and all this other shit. God was never married. Show me in the Bible where God was married. If you can show me in the Bible that God was married to a one woman and he was monogamous, I'll get married. That's what I told my old lady. I said, look, show me where God was married in the Bible. Because it seemed like to me, God was a single father. Am I right or wrong, Kweli? Like, for real, this nigga was a single father. This is why I do Bible comedy, because it's stupid.
Not only was he a single father, but he was a deadbeat, and he's a date rapist. Mary didn't consent.
That part, bro.
Mary did not consent.
That part.
She did not.
That part, Kweli. Like, bro, that's why I fuck with you, man. That's why I asked. I know I met you last year. I said, hey, bro, I want to collab with you, because I was already doing this shit, but I needed somebody to collab with, and I don't mind. But the thing is, why are we still believing this shit? And this is another thing I want to tackle on tomorrow. I'm gonna hit you up on the back end, but people are praying away coronavirus, but they saying that this was God's way of controlling population. So how the fuck you gonna say God did it, but you're also praying it away, and this is God's, bro?
Cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance. You can't say that this was God's order or law to create coronavirus, but I mean God created AIDS. What else, Kweli? He created AIDS, influenza, pneumonia, all this other shit, deadly diseases. But coronavirus is more prevalent in a creation because of God. And because God created it, we need to come closer to him. Now, if God got corona, I don't want the shit if the shit is real.
Social distancing.
Bro. Bro, you took the words out of my mouth. So, bro, Kweli, you said some funny shit tonight too. Like, bro, it really made me think. Like, damn, why I ain't thinking about this shit? You know what I'm saying? As an atheist, my old lady, you know what? My old lady still takes to this day. Like, we was on our way to Trader Joe's in South Fort Worth on Hewlin, and she said, "Baby, I never thought." She said, "You treat me so well, but you're atheist." I said, "Babe, what do you mean an atheist? So you mean tell me an atheist can't treat you well?" She said, "No, baby." She said, "I always thought that atheists were bad." She said, "But you treat me so well. You protect me. I got a job. You give me your car to drive. You don't never come at me beating on me." I said, "Baby, just because of what I disbelieve does not signify that I'm a good person or a bad person. If I'm an atheist, I could be a bad person. I could be a good person. But you come across a good atheist, because there are some bad atheists. Am I right or wrong, Kweli?"
Fact, Stalin was the bad atheist, you know what I mean?
Exactly. He was a bad atheist. I said, "Babe, you don't have to believe in Christianity." So that's why she said, "Well, I'm not a Christian no more." She said, "I'm glad I talked to your friend Kweli, because he's not, you're not the only one." I said, "So you mean to tell me you wanna talk to my little bro about being an atheist because I'm not the only one?" I said, don't do that. I said,
that's how people are, man. I don't know. It's not just her. I think it's just a human thing. For some reason, when somebody close to you tell you something, it's hard to accept it. But if somebody that you don't know come tell you the same exact thing, then you can accept it because it's coming from somebody else, and you be like, "Motherfucker, I told you that shit 1,000 times."
What is that called? Because she love our show and she watching our show right now. I can hear it in the back room. She already knows. That's why she came in here and gave me that look. I said, "Babe," that's why she came in here and I gave her the look. I said, "Okay, you know I'm telling the truth about you." Because this is some things because a lot of people will miss out on a good person. And you even said this, Kweli, a long time ago. You will miss out on a good person. What do we do? What was the episode, Atheists Need Love Too? You said that, this is what you said. You will miss out on a good person that treat you right because they don't believe in God. You'll basically throw them away. You said something to that degree, and old girl still didn't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They'll throw it away because of a belief. If I don't believe in God, that automatically signify that I'm going to beat on you. I'm going to treat you bad. But I got a woman that believes in God in the room right now to say I treat her real good and I'm an atheist. It don't matter what you believe and not believe. It's human nature, man. I could have been a serial killer and an atheist. It don't even matter. Yeah. Or I could have been a serial killer and a Christian.
And that's the reason why. That's the reason why I like to use the word atheist, because I want people to see that atheist is normal, is the default state. It's actually nothing that you should be ashamed of, and it don't mean that you're a bad person, because people look down on you for being an atheist, but that's because they ignorant and they stupid, and we don't need to be. I don't got to participate and get on the ignorant and stupid level. I'm gonna bring y'all up to my level. I'm not gonna stoop down to y'all level and go, well, I'm not gonna use that word because people look at it in the bad way. Fuck that. I'm gonna use the word and y'all gonna look at it in the right way, or y'all just gonna stay down there and then y'all gonna see me shining and y'all gonna wonder why is the atheist shining and I'm not. Well, it's probably because I'm focused on reality.
And that's another thing. She was like, "Baby, how did you get a job making $18 an hour doing but I'm making 15?" She's like, she making $15 an hour and she's stressing. I said, "You know what? It ain't got nothing to do with the God. It's because I job search and I have credentials. It ain't got nothing to do with the God, baby. Stop thinking that a God is gonna give you a job." I had to tell her that. I work for Brink. So shit, that was because I had credentials. They didn't ask me if I believe in God now. Like I said, I do work with two people that pray, but they always talk about how badass they are, and they're gonna be like John Wick if we get robbed. I say, "Nigga, look, I'm finna be over here asleep while we on our way to the first drop." Shit, y'all can continue to think that y'all John Wick and pray to God, think that God gonna give you some John Wick powers. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Kweli. I'm gonna bust though. If I have to bust, I'm gonna shoot. You already know. So if you don't hear from me, like, Kweli, I had to shoot at somebody. They tried to rob the truck.
Better than you. Better than
Exactly. But these, like I said, bro, these are the same motherfuckers that believe in God, that want to be like John Wick and wonder why I don't believe in God. It's because they know that they can't go to the company and say, well, you know, well, I'm gonna give you my stage name. Kwame don't believe in God, so we don't want to work with him. I've been working with him for like 8 months. But they look at me like the fact that I'm in the wrong. But y'all talking about John Wick and then y'all on y'all knees praying to God. Like John Wick, you know what? John Wick, one of the baddest motherfuckers in TV and screen. That's one. You know what? They got a video game, John Wick. I'm finna buy that bitch.
Tell them to pray that you will believe in God. And
let's see what happens.
Yeah, just keep praying that one day I'll come back to God.
Kweli, bro. Kweli, you don't see me during the morning, but Kweli, when I get up and I go to the drop off, I'm gonna go to the drop off and get our truck and get our money and shit. Kweli, this is what I do. That's what I do. I promise you, Kweli, that's what I do. Once we load the money, once we load our $7 million on our truck or whatever. That's exactly what I do. I ain't worried about a guy protecting us, because you know what? I'm gonna pull out that Glock 22. And niggas, they want to throw some smoke grenades or whatever into our. I know it's time to shoot. God ain't finna protect me, but they think because they watch John Wick, God gonna give them the John Wick power. Them are the weakest motherfuckers I work with. I ain't gonna even lie, Kweli. I ain't finna give my company out, but them are the weakest motherfuckers that I work with. They weak. Bro, I have a better chance of killing or shooting one of the robbers versus that. We have not had an incident. You know, we have not had an incident, but man, bro, if we have an incident, I'm gonna be the one to defend us.
Cause they're gonna be praying.
They're gonna be praying, right? So with me being an armored car, when me being a person that's armed security and doing all this other shit, God has nothing to do with that, because if God was real, they wouldn't need armed security to basically deliver money.
That part.
So what do your Christians? Yeah, put my life on the line.
Like the Pope be riding around with bulletproof glass.
That part. So how the Pope have a relationship with God when Pope have to actually be surrounded with bulletproof gas? He don't have a relation. That means he don't have a relationship. Ain't no relationship with God. Cause if I got a relationship with my old lady and she expecting me to protect her, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna protect her. Like she in my house right now. She in my room right now. If somebody kicking the door, I got my gun right next to me. I got my gun. I'm gonna protect her. But if she lived here by herself, who gonna protect her? God ain't gonna protect her. She ain't got no gun. She don't like guns. See what I'm saying? Y'all gotta really differentiate what y'all talking about. Cause I got a guy, I do off-duty work at this club in Arlington, Texas. This dude, I was finna give him my vest. I said, bro, my vest is 3 years old. It got 2 more years on it. Do you want it? Guess what this dude told me, Kweli? He said, God got me. So 8 months later, when me and my old lady show up to the same club, you got a bulletproof vest on? I thought God had you. Why'd you have to go get a bulletproof vest? I was gonna give you one for cheaper. Cause I paid $500 for my vest. I said, bro, I give you this vest for like at least $250. I'm gonna give him one of my vests. He said God got him. But 8 months later, we show up to the same club. You said God got you, but you got a bulletproof vest on? The same one that I was gonna give you? How God got you and you got a vest on? If God got you, I feel like no officer that believes in Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, don't wear a vest. Don't wear a vest. If you believe a God got you, take off your bulletproof vest. Because I'm in the same field that you in. If I believe in God, I'll be trying to debate Kweli and say, look, your shit ain't, but then what happened if I get shot in the chest? Bam, I'm gone. So I advise you Christians that wear bulletproof vests, don't wear your vest on the next shift. And if you get into a trouble, say God got you. And if a bullet get fired at you, hit you in the arm or the chest, say God got you. Let's see how far that goes. I'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait. I know, Kweli, I know you look like you took a deep breath. You like, yeah. I know I went on a rant, man, but that's the thing. I wear body armor, man. But a lot of these motherfuckers that believe in Jesus wear body armor too. They wear the same shit I wear. But they say God got them. They say God got them. Kweli, I don't know what to say about that. I just stay out the way.
Hey, Alicia Brown, if you a Christian, which I'm assuming you are, because the stuff that you say don't make no sense, so you probably got a dumb religion like Christianity. But in your religion, you don't have free will, because God knows everything. So you can't have free will if God knows everything. So under the Christian doctrine, if God knows what you're gonna do before you do it, you really don't have a choice. You know what I mean? So like, there's no choice if it's all predestined. It's not a real choice. So there's no free will.
Alicia, call in real quick. Like we got a few more minutes left in the show. Can you call in really quick, please, for me? Can you call it? Because I want to believe again. Me and Kweli, we want to believe again. Can you please call in real quick and tell us what you're talking about, and we can give you our spiel. Because Kweli, you put the link in the description, right?
It's
or in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alicia, please call in. We want to talk to you, sister. You the goddess of the universe. You're the goddess of the universe. You create life, all this other stuff. Please call in. Just call in real quick. And we want to understand what you mean by free will. Because how can you have a free will with an all-knowing God? Alicia, another thing, you're curious. You're curious about your beliefs. That's why you called into the atheist church. If you didn't want to know about black atheists, me and Kweli, you would never called in, and you would never stay in our comments. You're curious. So it's okay. It's okay, Alicia. Call in. Come on, call in. We got the StreamYard, copy and paste.
Well, I think she's too afraid because she's still chatting, and I done posted the link. So really no point of you comment another chat after I done posted the link to join in. And you can see.
How many times you done posted?
Like 10 times already, but I just posted it again. So she too scared to call in.
Alicia,
but you know what I'm saying? No, she ain't no troll. She ain't no troll. She's just a Christian that's confused. But you know, like I was saying before, these people, they feel a need to defend their God, which is so funny to me, because if your God is so powerful, then he don't need you to defend them. But they so scared of their belief, their own belief. They're afraid of their own belief, right? And this afterlife thing, that they think that if they don't say something to us, that their sky daddy is going to punish them, because they're supposed to be a good Christian, right? But if your God is really real, he don't need you to speak up for him. He would punish me. He wouldn't, you know.
You got a relationship. You got a relationship, right? Your relationship should be stronger than anything. I got a relationship with my old lady.
All you gotta do is just pray that my power go out, and then this stream will be over. But your God is so weak that he lets atheists go live every week and prove that he ain't real. And y'all can't even call in and defend it. But
defend it and prove it.
We're gonna close out in a minute, though. I got one more little clip that's related to what we was talking about.
Go ahead. I'm gonna go on mute. Go ahead, bro.
Okay.
No, but you know what? I'm gonna commentary on that too. So go ahead. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right.
This program is brought to you by Stanford University. Please visit us at stanford.edu.
We're talking about, do atheists have morality and morals? From one of the best white authors in the world, Christopher Hitchens, the late great atheist author.
Which indeed is such a big bestseller that you can do what I did.
Like power to Christopher Hitchens, man.
Walk to your local bookstore and get it off the bestseller rack for 30% off. If Christopher Hitchens does not believe in God, reviewers have asked, then where does he get his sense of right and wrong? You have replied in print that this question is in itself insulting, and you have rejected, quote, the appalling insinuation that I would not know right from wrong if I was not supernaturally guided, close quote. Why do you find it insulting?
because I think it's degrading to the human, to us, to you and me, to imply, well, not to imply, to state directly that absent a celestial dictatorship that had some supernatural influence over us, yet to be established, by the way, as anything really existent, but without the assumption of it, we wouldn't know right from wrong. We wouldn't return stolen property if we found it in the back of a cab. We wouldn't give blood if someone badly needed a transfusion, unless we were afraid either of punishment or desirous of a reward, that we might help ourselves to underage children, as some religious people have actually been known to do. Because after all, what's stopping us? Now, you could tell me if you wanted that you would do all those things if you weren't God-fearing, but I would choose not to believe you. I have more respect for you, if not for your opinions, than that.
All right, Jonathan Swift. Not just reviewers of your book, but Jonathan Swift is at least aware of this argument. He has an essay in which he has a country yokel listening to the arguments of an atheist and then declaring, quote, "Why, sir, if it be as you say, I can drink and whore and defy the parson."
So far, so good.
Close quote. But if there is no God, if there is no objective ground of right and wrong, from what do you derive your morals? From what do you derive right and wrong?
The stupidest person in Smerdyakov, I think it is, in the Brothers Karamazov says, though he turns out himself to be a very immoral person, he says, but without God wouldn't everything be permitted. That's the sense of what he said.
Right.
By the way, I think some people who say this may fear it to be true of themselves. I mean, some people who are psycho or sociopathic may conceivably have the view that only superstition restrains them from cruelty, theft, rapine, violence, utter selfishness, and so forth. But I don't believe it's true. First, I think our knowledge of the right and wrong is innate in us. Religion gets its morality from humans. We know that we can't get along if we permit perjury, theft, murder, rape. All societies at all times, well before the advent of monotheism certainly, have forbidden it.
If morality, a sense of morality, is another adaptive or evolved faculty, the problem is that there are all kinds of things that we're stuck with as a result of evolution, if one posits evolution. So you feel biological urges, you feel the impulse to steal, and yet at the same time you have some kind of innate morality that tells you not to steal. So the question is, with a religious point of view, it gives you some way, you say there is an objective standard according to which we can, we recognize that certain of these impulses are acceptable and certain other impulses are to be disciplined and restrained and so forth. I don't understand how, if you take it all as a kind of evolutionary result of evolution, let's put it that way, how it is that you can say morality is over and above other urges. How do you do that?
Well, two observations.
All
One, I mentioned in my book a Muslim taxi driver in Washington, D.C., who returned quite a lot of money that my wife had left on the back of his cab. It must have taken him quite a while to work out whose it was.
Whose it was, right.
Where she lived, where he dropped her off. To come back into town, he lived in the burbs, losing quite a lot of labor and time and effort just in doing that, to return what I can tell you would be more than he probably could hope to make in a week. And he wouldn't even take the 10% I wanted to give him, until I really absolutely crammed it into his top pocket. He really wouldn't, thought it was insulting almost, because he said it was his Islamic duty. Now, as it happens, I think, and I suspect you think too, that most of the preachments of the Quran are either fatuous or wicked. They enjoin evil on many people, and they claim to believe in things that shouldn't be believed in on sheer grounds of absurdity, such as the Archangel Gabriel appearing to an illiterate Arab merchant, or a night journey to Jerusalem on a winged horse, or any of this nonsense. But for him, without it, he couldn't imagine being moral. Well, I'm sorry, I think that's insulting too. Now, to take something that isn't necessarily evolutionary or determined by, in the crude terms you suggest, if I'm making a speech, and I make a cheap point to get a laugh, which I'm not above doing. I can do that, or I skip a stage in an argument, to make an inexpensive point, and especially if it works, and I get them, I feel a pang. I think.
Oh, do you?
Especially if it works. Why is this? Not to be grand about it, but what Socrates called his daemon. It was an inner voice that stopped him when he was trying to take advantage of someone in an argument, wrongly. Adam Smith calls it the sort of unspoken partner in conversation whose approval we hope to get. Lewis calls it conscience and says it's proof of the existence of God. That's stretching it enormously further than it will go. Why don't we just assume that we do have some internal compass, and that if we didn't, we couldn't be the partially rational mammals that we are.
Rational. All right, this brings us on to this. Okay. By the way, I'm delighted to see that we're making progress here, Christopher. I'm bringing you along. So your argument is then that when the taxi driver returned your wife's money, that was the human shining through in spite of the religious overlay.
I would say, yeah.
All right.
I believe if we define conscience as you were about to, or morality as you were about to, my definition would be what do you do, how do you do something when no one's looking?
Okay.
Now, in this case, he could easily have got away with it.
Right, of course.
But he couldn't live with himself if he did. Well, who doesn't have that feeling? And why do we degrade this feeling by saying it's a heavenly gift accompanied by a threat of heavenly punishment?
You raised the question of rationality. Lewis makes the point, quote, granted that reason is prior to matter, that as it is in most religious outlets, certainly in the Judeo-Christian conception, granted that reason is prior to matter, I can understand how men should come, by observation and inference, to know a lot about the universe they live in. If, on the other hand, minds are wholly dependent on brains, and brains on biochemistry, and biochemistry on the meaningless flux of atoms, that is to say, if there's nothing but material, this is the materialistic worldview, I cannot understand how the thought of those minds should have any more significance than the sound of the wind in the trees, close quote. Set aside questions of right and wrong and pangs of conscience to the question of reason itself. If you have a thoroughgoing materialist view of the world, doesn't that tend to represent an attack on reason itself, or at least lower? Why should the work of Christopher Hitchens have any more claim on my attention than the random poundings at a keyboard of a chimp?
Well,
isn't that a serious philosophical problem?
No, it isn't. As usually, Lewis is chewing much more than he bites off. As it happens, I've had my DNA sequenced recently. You can get yours done too. You should. By the way.
You had it done?
Yeah, you can find what we always suspected. I'm half a chromosome away from a chimpanzee, related also to plant and vegetable and other matter, as well as other animals. And I don't think evolution even knows that I'm here. And I don't think that the Big Bang originated with me in mind. I'm sorry to say it, and I'm not as solipsistic and self-centered and arrogant as the religious would have me be. I don't think that these processes had me in mind or are aware of my presence. Doesn't make me feel that I can go and do anything I want. Why doesn't it? I don't know why it doesn't. But I do know, by counterexample, that if I put this problem to you, name me an ethical action taken or a moral statement made by a believer that could not have been made or performed by a non-believer. I very much doubt you'll be able to do it. At least no one else has been able to yet. Give you time for it. If I asked any audience, can they think of a wicked action undertaken or a wicked statement made because of religion, nobody has a single second of hesitation before they can think of one. So you have advanced the argument not at all. In fact, you've again degraded it to the view that we ought to believe foolish things, such as that we need divine permission to behave well, because if we didn't believe this, we might behave badly. Well, the facts are what they are, and the fact is that actually material does come first.
But I've already
material.
Granted you,
the mind is a brain before it's anything else. Of course, anyone who says to the contrary is talking abject nonsense.
No, but I think you're opening yourself to... all right, if you won't take it from Lewis, take it from Darwin. I'm quoting Charles Darwin now. Precisely the same point, by the way. With me, the horrid doubt always arises, Darwin writes in a letter, whether the convictions of man's mind, which has been developed from the mind of the lower animals, are of any value, or at all, trustworthy. Would anyone trust in the convictions of a monkey's mind? Close quote. That's precisely the same point. If there's nothing but the material world, I grant that we feel pangs of conscience. I grant that we all lead our lives as though we take reason completely for granted, the way that we take the air we breathe. It's there.
With nothing but the material world to go on.
But
you
isn't
don't
that
know
a clue?
you don't know of any other world. You only postulate it because you think it might be.
Isn't that a clue, though, that there's something outside us? Isn't rationality itself something outside us? Isn't it a clue that there's something outside us?
No, it's not. It's to be reconciled as, you might call it surplus value, I suppose. You say there were certain people who love others more than they need to just for human solidarity. I mean, they're not altruistic people.
Even as the large cranium that enables us to escape the tiger also enables Beethoven to compose piano sonatas.
Yes.
That's surplus value.
Yes, it is surplus value. And there are people who've always been celebrated, those who will live largely for the wider human family, or, if you like, make it smaller, wider tribe. Some who don't. Those who do have always been honoured and respected, quite rightly, and there's no need to postulate anything supernatural about this. And since there's no evidence for anything supernatural, let alone any supernatural intervention in human affairs, I mean, none whatsoever of any kind, why make mysteries where none exist? We do have the spare capacity in our cranial wiring to care for other people in the hope that they will reciprocate, or maybe even without that hope. And when I give blood, say, which I don't do often enough, I get a positive pleasure out of doing it. I like doing it. I don't lose a pint. Somebody else gains one. That thought is very agreeable to me. I like it. I actually enjoy doing it. I could add that I have a very rare blood group myself, and I may one day need a transfusion in my turn, and I hope other people have been doing it for me. But actually, no, it's not just for that reason, not just reciprocal. It's now the idea that I need a supernatural prompting to think this way is.
No, you clearly.
I'm sorry, I think is a barbaric idea.
Question here: the purely utilitarian argument. By calling insulting reviewers who ask where you get your morals, you also deplore the quote the self-satisfaction that simply assumes whether or not religion is metaphysically true, that at least it stands for morality. But I'm not sure that argument is all that contemptible, as witness two pieces of evidence. George Washington, quote, of all the dispositions and habits which lead to the prosperity of a nation, religion is the indispensable support. It tends to lend itself toward a healthy polity. And the second is a kind of counterexample, which is the history of the 20th century, during which you have the communist regimes, that is to say, the regimes that were officially and aggressively atheist, caused the deaths of, you name the number, Bob Conquest I think is about 60 million, isn't it? 60 million of their own people, which dwarfs any number that the Crusaders may have slain in the 12th century.
Well, I have a whole chapter about this in my book.
All right.
And partly because I do think it's a very serious question. And I put it like this. First, the regimes of fascism and National Socialism, the so-called Axis powers, who would be up in the same class of figures of mass murder, were, in the case of the Mussolini-Franco forces, effectively nothing more than the right wing of the Roman Catholic Church. That you'll have to admit, the Church has itself had to admit, that whether it's Croatia, the Ustasha, Hungary, the Arrow Cross.
Croatia, not less willing. But
it's effectively fascism moved to the Catholic right. National Socialism is pagan and in some ways anti-clerical.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Okay.
Pagan and in some ways anti-clerical, but it never breaks its concordat with the Church.
Right.
The Church reciprocates by having prayers by the order of the Vatican for Hitler's birthday every year till the very end, and then by rescuing, even after the National Socialist regime, the Nazi regime is at an end, helping its wanted people to escape to other clerical fascist dictatorships in South America. This has all been attested many, many times and apologized for by the Church, though I think not enough. To say nothing of the preachments down the years of anti-Semitism. And the third leader of the Axis is the Japanese emperor, is actually a god, to whom everyone knows. No one in Japan thought you could possibly have morality if you didn't agree that Hirohito was God. Where would morality come from? If we didn't have the emperor, we wouldn't know what to do. People would be screwing in the streets. That's where it gets you.
Well,
now, Stalinism, because I'm not ducking your question.
All right.
Okay, until 1917. Millions of Russians have been told for millions of years, millions of Russians have been told for hundreds of years, that the Tsar is the head of the church, which he was, the Russian Orthodox Church, that the leader of the country should be something a little more than human. He's not a god, but he's a little more than, he's not quite divine, he's a holy father. If you're Joseph Stalin, you shouldn't be in the dictatorship business if you don't know how to exploit an inheritance like that of millions of credulous, servile people. And what does he do? Lysenko's biology, miracles. We can have 3 harvests a year if we believe in Lysenko's biology. Inquisition, heresy hunt, orthodoxy. Everything comes from the top and must be thanked for and groveled for. A complete replication of the preceding theocracy. For your argument to have any force at all, you'd have to point to a society that adopted the teachings of Lucretius, Spinoza, Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Paine, Albert Einstein, and then fell into famine, dictatorship, torture, and genocide. And you won't, I think, be able to point to such.
You surely.
But that's what you need for a level playing field.
That's slippery work. You should feel a pang now, I think. You're not going to say that what Stalin did to the peasants in Ukraine was the fault of the Russian Orthodox Church.
Well, the Russian Orthodox Church always was on his side.
It may have.
The Ukrainian Orthodox wouldn't have been at that point, but the Russian Orthodox Church, as you know, split because the hierarchy stayed with his regime, as it does with all such regimes, because we have to render unto Caesar.
You truly wish to blame the crimes of Joseph Stalin on Christianity?
No, that would be slippery. No, I was very careful to say. Stalin is gifted a legacy of backwardness, servility, and credulity inculcated by Christianity, and he replicates the conditions of a political theocracy, and he keeps the church in his corner all throughout the war and throughout the collectivization. Look it up. The church had to split on the question. Those who didn't like it had to leave for America. And the religious mentality is very clearly shown in the totalitarian mass movements of leader worship and the Führerprinzip, and their heresy hunts and proclamations of miracles. Yes, it's an allotropic form of the same thing. So if you want a society that is secular to be judged, you'll have to have one that is derived from the work of Lucretius, Galileo, Spinoza, Einstein, and the rest.
Percy Bysshe Shelley, 1792 to 1822. Sent down from Oxford for publishing a pamphlet entitled The Necessity of Atheism.
Yes.
Anti-monarchist. This is clear in a writing called Poetical Essay on the Existing State of Things, which was lost until 2006. Anti-monarchical tract. A proponent of what we would now call sexual liberation. Your kind of guy. All right. Listen to this. This is from a poem published after Shelley's death, dated about 6 months before his drowning. So it's dated June 1822. This low sphere and all that it contains not thee, thou whom seen nowhere I feel everywhere. In music and the sweet unconscious tone of animals and voices which are human, meant to express some feelings of their own, in the soft motions and rare smile of woman, in flowers and leaves and in the grass fresh shown, or dying in the autumn, I the most adore thee present, or lament thee lost. Shelley, of all people, experiences deep intimations of the divine. What does Christopher Hitchens do with that fact?
The common mistake, perhaps the commonest made by, if you like, your side about mine, is that once we've said we were materialists, we've declared ourselves to be arid, pitiless, no sense of the numinous or the transcendent. This is something I think we could do another show on whether or not the natural world is wonderful enough, on the beauties of science, on the landscape and so on.
Are you saying that Shelley is simply mistaken here, that he's responding to something that doesn't exist? That is your point, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. But I mean, people do this all the time.
All right.
The belief that there is a transcendent, that it's divine, that it can be identified, worshipped, celebrated is a very, very common delusion, and not only among poets.
All right. So Shelley doesn't shake you.
No, it would take a lot more than Shelley to shake me.
Oh, would it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought Shelley was precisely the kind of man to shake you.
Shelley's politics and his romanticism don't, in fact, politically appeal to me very much.
Oh, they don't?
No,
I thought I had you. I thought Shelley was just the man.
I think his writings on atheism are excellent and much better than that, I thought, rather indifferent poem.
I didn't do justice to the poem, by the way. You have to read the whole thing.
Right, but it doesn't seem to me in the same rank as his other poetry, for a fact.
All right.
Notice, by the way,
Yes.
how many poets write, as when poet laureates in England get the job from the Queen, as soon as they become the monarch's poet, they cease to write well. They just don't do it. Religion often has the effect of making very intelligent, very sensitive people talk the most terrible piffle.
Oh, Hopkins?
Particularly.
Oh, no.
Not George Herbert and not John Donne, I must admit.
But you
don't
like
I couldn't be
Hopkins?
without that. I don't like Hopkins at all, no.
Really?
And I also think that Auden's worst poetry comes after his reconversion to Anglicanism, as it happens. Auden's best poetry is all from his secular period.
God is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens, for whom I shall be lighting a candle tomorrow. I'm Peter Robinson. This is Uncommon Knowledge. Thank you for joining us.
The preceding program is copyrighted.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I want to remind y'all that we go live every Sunday night on the Atheist Church Live. Is the name of the podcast, and y'all can get it anywhere you get podcasts. If you got the smart speaker, all you got to do is say, "Hey, Alexa, play Atheist Church Live," and then she'll play us. So also go to QueliKush.com. Make sure that you are up to date with all of our posts. And to Danielle War, we do the collection plate only on Sundays, but feel free to send your donation anytime during the week. And we just let the money sit there until Sunday. And we didn't do it last week because it was 4th of July and the schedule was all messed up. But we will be back in full effect this Sunday. All right. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. People, I just want my people to basically have logical thinking and reasoning skills, y'all. Please research your beliefs. Please see if your beliefs match up with reality, because I can guarantee you that it doesn't. What me and Kweli is doing, we're thought provoking, and I think that's why we're the most dangerous atheist show on the YouTube, because we're thought provoking. No Christian would call in. No other religious person would call in, because we're very, very, very thorough about our thought provoking. You know what I'm saying? The Atheist Experience is good. Shout out to them. Shout out to Matt Dillahunty. Shout out to Chris and everybody else with the Talk Heathens. Y'all are pretty good too. But I know as far as black people being non-believers, we do thought provoking, and I know it. I understand that when black people look at other black people that don't believe in their Jesus, they white Jesus or they God or whatever, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's good for y'all to call in and basically tell us how y'all feel about it, and that way we can talk about it and see. A lot of times y'all want to harbor things inside of yourselves because you're actually struggling with your beliefs. Then you said it earlier, Kweli, like a lot of people like Ultimate Truth and what's her name, Alicia, they're struggling with their own beliefs. That's why they're here. They're struggling with their own belief system. So it's okay. It's okay to question your shit, because nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to get struck by lightning. You're not going to get, this God ain't going to kill you, because he can't kill you. It can't kill you. I would say it can't kill you. It can't. It's fiction. So wake up to the bullshit. That's all I have to say.
And with that said, peace and black power, everybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Peace.